Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is our Ask Me Anything. You can ask me anything about Cursor, Claude Code, cooking with, whatever you want to do. This is our little hangout this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Welcome. If you've been watching some of my content and you've been having any trouble setting stuff up, like getting your SaaS set up, setting up things in Convex, setting up things in Clerk or whatever, this is your chance to ask me now. If you're coming from the Discord, I'm going to be reading through some of the questions in the live stream hangout if you have any of those types of questions as well. And for those, while you're waiting, we're probably just going to hang out. I'm just going to add some features to Ray Transcribes. I'm Ray Fernando, used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years. And so now basically on my own, using AI to try to basically generate freedom. And what I'm realizing is the fact that these tools are incredibly capable, especially for agentic coding, to do stuff that we probably never really realized you can actually do. And for the first time in my career, I feel like, should I be really scared of this thing? Is this thing going to take over my entire career or whatever like that? Am I totally cooked as far as like an engineer? And it turns out that these models are going to need a lot of data and they're going to need a lot of people guiding these types of things. And this is a really amazing time to be building your ideas out in real time. And I learn by doing. So a lot of I dropped out of school and everything like that. And the only way I was actually able to be successful is by getting right into things like coding and playing around with things. And this is my style of content. So if you're into this type of thing, I do lots of live streams like this. So definitely tune in and lock in. And I like to just get right into things and learn and ask questions. And I value a community of people. So I was very thankful growing up that I was able to ask engineers for time to do things and they were able to teach me stuff. And I think we need more of that in this type of world in 2025. And so if you're an engineer, if you're working on products, if you're still new to this, don't feel intimidated. This is the right space for you to hang out with us, ask questions, join the Discord and get in on all that. So with that said, let's go ahead and start cooking. Let's go ahead and say hello to some of the folks who are coming in. Big shout outs to J35. What's going on? Zen Studios. What's going on? Doing a quick sound check as well. How's it going, everyone? Tech friend as well on the membership. We got Carl as well. Thanks for the retweet, my dude. Oh, we got to check out your project. Hey, tech friend, can you link me? I'll see if I can pull up your tweet. It'd be really cool to check out his project. Because he's got this MCP where you can use voice and then it does all this crazy stuff. So my guy is cooking and this is so wild. So Mike, let's cook. Big shout out to Mikael. Everyone's coming through right now in the community. I love y'all so much. JK Software, what's happening? Claude Code or Codex, what's your pick? I think this would probably be a fun stream if we don't have a lot of questions to kind of get out and take a look at Codex, because I haven't looked at it for quite some time. And I think it'd be really cool to kind of look at it again, because I think we need to see what's been going on with GPT-5. For those who don't know, yesterday I actually had a live stream where we talked a little bit about the OpenAI cookbook, and there is a lot of sauce on prompting GPT-5 to guide the models. So this is the GPT-5 prompting guide. I'm going to go ahead and drop this into the chat so that way y'all can play around with this. But this is probably like a must read in the next week or so to truly understand how to steer the model. So the TLDR of what we learned is there actually is a way to tell the model to be very prescriptive and precise in terms of taking things that you think about and then following on steps and so forth. And to be prescriptive of those things, you can set up the XML like this to gather, tell it to gather information, to, do additional context gathering. And the thing that I learned is in this pro level of prompting that the Cursor team basically spelled out in this cookbook is there's exit criteria that you want to set so that once the model reaches it, it's going to want to, proceed to actually answer your question. And so by default, the GPT-5 model is going to be extremely aggressive about generating tons of ideas, tons of different spaces. And so you have to rein that in by giving it these constraints. So it's kind of good that the model is extremely wanting to do a lot of work for you, but it has downsides. One is that it can take a lot of time. It could do a lot of extra reasoning. And two, by accident, it could actually introduce context rot. And so I'll go into that context rot topic a little bit later. But for the most part, it could actually lead to inaccuracies, which is pretty funny. So you think if you set the high mode in GPT-5, you're pretty much done. It's actually not like that. It's actually kind of the opposite. In essence, sometimes it could be really helpful, but sometimes it could actually be really bad. And so to make it actually be very helpful when you do set it in high, as far as a parameter, the thing that you have to do according to the cookbook is set some like validation criteria. And so the validation criteria is the things that you would set to say, okay, once you meet these requirements and you do these types of things, you're pretty much good. So one thing we did yesterday with Claude, which I found really interesting, this is kind of really, I mean, this topic's still fresh in my mind. So if I can teach you about what I just learned, that means I think I learned it or in the way that I understand. So we were basically developing an app that would scan the food labels and try to calculate how much protein is really in there. To my discovery yesterday, I found out the protein that I'm buying that's really expensive, like $35 or more, is actually like basically jipping me by 26%. And this was the big revelation. And I said, how is this a thing? Why can't we make an app for this? And so one of the, I think, exit criteria I had Claude Sonnet build for us is a verification checklist. And so it took the cookbook and actually built the prompt for our app. And so it has this checklist you can see here to check for the specific, protein calculation. Once all protein sources are identified, make sure that their limiting amino acids are noted, complementary between like protein sources. So these are the checklists that you want to have in your prompt so that the model can exit. Otherwise, it'll just keep going for minutes and minutes and minutes. It doesn't mean that it's going to get better results, but the better you get here in your verification checklist for quality assurance, now you're actually verifying your outputs within the model. And that's what like actually is the power of GPT-5. And so it has that steerability, has that, way of actually verifying the results. So you're probably asking like, okay, is this like, I don't even, dude, Ray, I'm not that like expert level prompting. Like I haven't been in the industry for so long. I can't even get that far. Like I'm just trying to make a simple app, that takes pictures of food or something, right? So it's like, no, it's okay. It took multiple steps, and you want to probably check out the live stream yesterday to kind of see how we did it. I have timestamps in there, which is really nice. So you can actually go to those, fast forward to different sections. It takes me a while to learn, by the way. I tend to read things, repeat them back and repeat them over and over. And that's how they stick into my head. And then I try them with different concepts and try to see if I really understand what's going on. But I think in that live stream, what I think I'm getting to here is the fact that I use Claude Opus and Claude Sonnet to help us prompt to generate these prompts. So I just said, here's a cookbook on how to prompt. Here's like a result that I wanted. So I went to, this was all generated from ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, I just basically asked it to, like, this is what I wanted. And this was my question. And then ChatGPT actually answered my question. And I was like, hey, this is a really great answer. This tells me exactly, what percentage of protein and stuff I want. And so I said, I love the structure and I want you to see if you can like give everything into an output that I want. And then here's the prompting guide. And so ChatGPT didn't actually give me the output that I wanted. So I just put the same prompt into Claude Opus. And that's where Claude Opus and Claude Sonnet really understood the mission and gave us that prompt that we needed to, basically make this powerful app. And so the next step from there was basically going into the cookbook or going into the platform.openai.com. So platform.openai.com is a really great place to actually prototype and test your products before you actually push them into like code. And so in here in chat, we put it into the developer message. And then this is what the users would usually see on the front end side, right? So you can either insert an image. We inserted an image of the actual plant, the protein that I was consuming from Amazon.com, a nice, good picture. And then we just, hit send, and then it went off and did its thing. And you can test different models up here, and you can even compare different models to the same prompt. So the same prompt, we can compare GPT-5 to like GPT, I think someone was talking about GPT-5 Nano, and then we can see what the response and the qualities are for that type of thing. So yeah, this is a lot of really cool like sauce. If you're developing with models, or if you're not, this is a really cool thing to check out that I found super useful. And I think you should probably have this in your bag. If you're not familiar with it, I'd say definitely join in the Discord, cook with us and so forth. If you want to get into the Discord, by the way, it's just https://rfer.me/discord. Let me just go ahead and drop this link right now down below. And for those who want to get in. So right now it's basically $14.99. The price is going to double at 200 members. And so we've reached our first milestone of 100 members, which is pretty awesome. And so the price had doubled from there. And so basically get in before it gets to $30 a month, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, we're just going to hang out with other labs and builders and so forth. And It's a really awesome community of folks who've been able to join in. And so for those who had just joined in, there's a little bit of a transition period, and I'm still actually gonna like take care of a messaging. So be on the lookout for a post. If you recently just joined and you're like, hey, I'm trying to get access to this Discord, I'll be reaching out to you, or I'll be having a post for the members and stuff who had signed up, because I had like a little bit of a PSA for those who had just joined. So I originally said, hey, for the first 100 members, you guys are real ones who just joined through YouTube. And I found out that like YouTube's automation is really, really bad. And there isn't a way to manage all the Discord, like labeling and all these other things. So I found a platform called Polar, and Polar is really great at managing the Discord. They're open source. And what I like about them is that their fees are way, way lower. And it goes directly to me to help, build the channel and so forth. So I'm really a big fan of Polar. And actually, I found out about Polar, and this is something that we should be looking into. So Polar.sh, if you aren't familiar, will allow you to, it's basically like a wrapper on top of Stripe right now, but it's an open source platform that allow you to do development on like collecting payments, but it has integrations with GitHub. So you can link GitHub repos. You can link your Discord like this. It's an API thing. It's super easy to set up. It has its own dashboard for controlling payments and everything like that. And I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I think for me, one of the most exciting parts about Polar is the fact that you can use this to also, like, you have an app that has an API and use it to do credits. So I have a video that's coming up that's going to talk about how we make an app, the image editing app. Right now, you can drop an image in and it's going to take my face and keep it the same, but you can like add a hat. And so let me see if I could show you that project right now, because that's pretty fun. And so let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Because I actually have a video that's going to be dropping. Actually, you know what I should do? Probably towards the end of this video, we'll probably play it. I think that'd be kind of fun, because it's a little bit of a preview. The editors just came back with the final thing. And if you stick toward the end, that'll be your reason to stick towards the end to watch a little bit of preview. So it's called the GPT New Image Gen. And so we'll run an image generation here just so you can see. So this is using the new OpenAI image editing API. And so for those who don't know, you can basically drop images in and it preserves your face. And this used to cost a lot of money to develop. Trust me, like you used to train your own models. And then once you push your app into production, you needed users to upload at least like 10 to 15 images. You would train this LoRa, against your face and everything like that. And then from there, you have your customized face that can be put into any different things. And it was still very unreliable. So PNPM dev. Let's see if I can do this. I think, is it PNPM? No, I did bun. I think bun. Did I? No, it's PNPM. PNPM run dev. Okay. So in here now, the game is being flipped. And I originally in the video, you're going to see that's edited video is going to say, I'm going to talk about adding Stripe. I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to do Polar, because Polar, you can do paper credit, which is really cool. And so if I do here, command click, let's go ahead and do this, right? So I can drop an image of me, and let me go ahead and see if I can find an image so that we can kind of drop it in here. So I think I had one on my desktop. If I didn't have one on my desktop, I'll have to find one for sure, because I'm kind of looking around for this. It would be kind of fun. But yeah, I should probably get an image of myself. So I'm going to go to headshot and just making sure that I get an image here that can be shown on the screen and so forth. But yeah, let me catch up a little bit on the comments as well while we do that. Profile. Let's see, Ray headshot. All right, cool. Get Max, how's it going? Really a lot of great combos in the Discord, a lot of helpful people with a lot of interesting views. Yes, I was one of the first members, but not in the Discord yet. Hey, Javier, go ahead and I'm going to make a post, Javier, and I'll actually include some things. I have a list of the original 100 members. And so I'm going to take care of you guys. You guys are going to get in and stay at that locked in early rate. And YouTube gives me an actual spreadsheet of all the members who have come in, how long they've joined, and the exact order they've joined. So those first 100 members, and I'll be also posting on the Discord for those who are on the Discord as well. There's like a little bit of transition period. So I'm making sure all the documentation looks great so that people can follow along. And then, I'm going to basically be available for support just to make sure I take care of you guys and get you in the Discord. So yeah, there's a number of people who haven't joined the Discord yet who are already YouTube members, and I'm transitioning to the new thing. So I want to make sure I take care of you guys, by the way. So that would be it. Maybe we can set a hook, which would automatically improve our prompts on the fly. Yes, there's a couple of things for the prompting part, which could be really interesting here about improving the prompts on the fly. OpenAI has their own prompt improver model thing that you can actually improve your prompts. It's in the platform.openai. So as soon as you type your prompt in, you could definitely improve it, which would be interesting. GPT-5 is not even close to being that good right now. The day one was miles away, instantly switched to Claude after day one. This is what we were discovering yesterday. Kais, I don't know if you had a chance to kind of play around with the cookbook and do some prompting, but yesterday, our stream was really about less hype and more about getting really into the fine-grained details of, okay, what are the professionals doing when they're generating apps with this? Cursor has been working with this probably for a month or so. And in that cookbook, they revealed all of the details of like how they're steering the model, what did they have to do to learn from it. It's a multi-day process. The fact that we just got our hands on it, a lot of us are approaching it in the same way we prompted other models, and it's not really the same. And so there's a lot of interesting strengths from the model, and there's a lot of other interesting things that you can do from it. They're actually kind of very different, to be honest. Claude Code versus OpenAI. And if you're looking at agentic coding, I actually found a lot of success using the low. So if you do GPT-5 low and you do it on fast in Cursor, you get a lot of work done really, really fast. And a lot of times, if you're extremely prescriptive, that is very, very helpful. I like to use Claude Code as well. Trust me, I have Claude Code still. I still have my $200 a month subscription because of Opus. The Opus 4.1 Opus 4 model is absolutely intelligent in terms of like raw dumping ideas, helping me sort out what I need to do with it, and then taking these plans, and then I give them to the worker bee models. So that's Claude Sonnet 4. That's GPT-5 right now on the low setting. And if I'm able to tell Claude Opus to chunk out the plan into smaller details that are very prescriptive, and then I throw the cookbook at it, in yesterday's live stream, Opus 4 generated the exact GPT-5 like prompt to generate an app in one prompt. We did that yesterday on the stream. It was crazy. I'm like, bro, it was crazy. We basically generated a mobile app in the canvas of GPT-5 on the actual on ChatGPT using that mega prompt, right? That Opus generated. And then Claude Sonnet didn't do it. I put that into Claude Sonnet. I could put that in Claude Opus to generate the code with that same prompt. It didn't work, right? So language matters, structure matters. And I mean, as an engineer, I'm going to keep pulling the strings, and I'm going to keep feeding y'all what I learned, because I feel like we have to talk about this. This is so good, It's on the Discord. Okay, cool. Facebook, I see it now. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions on the Discord and stuff. Okay. I'm pretty sure GPT-5 is great for research and small projects. Yeah, you have to like keep, like let me know what your use case is. What are you trying to do? What types of prompts have you been throwing at it? Like definitely share, because I feel like there's a lot of chatter online. And then as an engineer, I'm just looking at it like, let's go into the model. I like to find out like what is like the steerability of the model, which is super important. How good is it at tool calling? Can it call other tools like going to the web? If I give it other tools, what specific parameters do I have to do with it? And then Cursor itself is probably the most tuned for using this model. So if you're trying to throw it into some open source tool, unless the tuning has been tweaked specifically for the prompting that we read in the cookbook, it's probably not going to take advantage of all those nice features that you probably pretty want, that you want from your models and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and see if I have a headshot of me, by the way. So I found my headshot. Okay. So for those who are wondering, I was trying to get this headshot here of me. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is see if I can kind of drag this model in here. Okay, cool. So that's my headshot. And then what I do in the app is basically going to say, add a chef hat, and hit generate image. And I think I revoked my key. So I need to, because I recorded a video, I revoked the key. So in order for me to generate a key in my platform.openai, I'm just going to go to, I think it's just API keys. And then API keys here is basically, I'm just going to hit generate new key. And so when I generate a new key, what I do here is basically just give it, I tell it restricted, and I say read and write. And then I'm just going to say GPT new image app. And then what I do from here is just go ahead and create secret key. So I hit the create secret key at the bottom. I'm going to hide myself so that I don't expose the key. And then once the key is here, I'm basically just going to copy it and then go to my .env.local and then paste that into there. So that way I have the environment variable set up. And so in Cursor, I have a env.local, and then I just put the key in here. And this is going to be, it even tells me in the error log saying, hey, invalid API key. You can find your key at whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here and not expose the key. I'm going to hit save and then close out of that. And then we're going to go ahead and try again. So now that we're back here, I'm just going to reload the app. Whoops. I didn't really expose the key because that's part of the key and it's a really long key, but whatever. I'll probably revoke it again at the end of the stream. So I'm going to say generate image. And so now it should be using the new key. And then we check down here. This is the app that I'm working with. So yeah, this is basically working. And so if you don't know, using this API can take probably upwards of like 1 to 2 minutes maybe to generate the image. And so this is the beginning part of the app that I'm going to be building. And this is going to be dropping next week on Sunday. You'll get a video. If you are a member, you're going to probably get a preview of this video the next day or two as I upload it to YouTube. And we'll probably even play it here at the end of the stream, just so for fun. You can kind of see what's going on. And so this is just how we made... That's so crazy. I'm always like super surprised about how like look at this is crazy. If like this is the new OpenAI GPT high fidelity thing, if you aren't familiar. So there's a parameter that you pass in now to the OpenAI edit API in images or OpenAI, and then you just give it the image. And now for like 17 cents, you get a new image that's generated with whatever the user prompt is. So what's cool about this is the fact that we can probably add like things to the image as well. And there's other things that we can do, not only being descriptive for prompting, but we can just say kind of, this is what it is. So like instead of chef's hat, I could just say, can you make this into the anime style of Dragon Ball Z? And then like, I could just say generate image. So hopefully OpenAI doesn't complain and say, hey, I'm not allowed. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no clue what it's going to do, but we'll see. I feel like I'm just, lottoing everything like that. So that's kind of funny. So yeah, that's what's up. I've been using GPT-5 to help further refine my PRDs and an indexing system so that the agent doesn't have to load the full PRD into context. That's interesting because yeah, you can chunk out these PRDs, right? And then refine them. Yeah, that's pretty fire actually. GPT-5 Pro is insane for PRDs. Okay, I need to try that actually. Chef Fernando, let's go. Yeah, I missed your live stream yesterday, but going to watch it after this one. Wondering if we can create custom agents / cursor rules grounded in this cookbook, and then every prompt. I think the agent cookbook is almost like 500 lines or something like that, which is quite a bit of tokens to throw in at the model. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I think this is really fun. I love this model. Just like, I mean, let's see. Would you guys pay $5 a month just to play around with this to get, I don't know, like 20 to 50 images generated for you? I think this is fun. Just to prompt like this. I should just put up my thing. This is really fun. Yeah, that's really cool. So for first gets grounded / transformed into the format according to the cookbook and then sent to OpenAI. I think machine learning brilliance, you're onto something. I think what you're onto here is maybe a couple of things. One is you have an idea, right? Like I feel like you need to ask, for me, I always have to ask myself now, like what stage of building am I in right now? And like, am I generating a prototype first? Am I shipping a feature? Am I improving a bug? Am I not sure what I'm doing, right? So am I testing? I feel like there's these different phases of software development that you're going to be doing to approach your app. And in that case, for me, it's like, if I'm developing a feature, maybe the prompts and verification steps are tuned a little bit for like shipping features, right? So that GPT-5 can kind of go in this loop. And then I feel like, it's really funny. It's like, it's sort of overcomplicating things when you're thinking about agentic things. But the reason why we're going down this exploration path as engineers, right? Like as a vibe coder, you're just like, whatever. I'm just going to throw stuff at it and hopefully it works, right? Like you're just treating it like a Google search box. But like the true engineers know about composability. And that's where we're really headed. It's like, if you can make a chain of things where you can compose different stages of where you're at in your software development cycle, then if those can be repeated, then now you have the system that writes the systems that does this work for your systems. If that makes any sense. So the goal, I think, is understanding like, okay, let's just say I'm in let's add a feature phase. And so it sounds like you may want an agent that's going to go through and understand what that is, right? And then I think that's where Claude Code is really strong, because now you have agentic capabilities that you can put into subagents. And then you also have, Claude MD files that can sit within specific directories, like in the /API route. If you have something that sits in /convex, where all the convex stuff is for your database. If you have stuff that sits in your UI components, right, that's going to have rules. So when the agents go into those specific folders or are grabbing context, they'll have rules for how to behave or how tools that they can use to call and do specific things that relate only to that directory of information. So I think it's a very open-ended question. I agree. And I feel like how to do this in Cursor. Let's see, create custom agents /cursor rules grounded in the cookbook, and then every prompt. So one of the things that you can do in Cursor that I did the other day that I think would be really cool is, let me just kind of show you what this looks like. And this is kind of probably a little bit of sauce of what you're thinking about. So all of these rules were generated because we went into a Cursor in Cursor, you could do /generate cursor rules. And then you can throw it like your initial Claude MD file. And you can all you can do is, like, let's just say you already created a Claude MD file. Do this. Claude MD is like, take these rules and see if you can generate cursor rules. And then what it'll do is Cursor will then create these rules files for you independently. And so in your Claude MD, see, like what Cursor does is that they don't put the Claude MD file like in a specific directory. Cursor just says apply to specific files. So they'll basically give you a pattern of where the rule is going to be applied. This is a very powerful technique because now you can apply this to many places, because there are times where you want this specific rule file to be applied into multiple directories, but then you have to like manually copy that Claude MD file across all those different directories, which is kind of defeats the purpose of some of the programmability of it. So by doing that /generate cursor rules, giving your Claude MD file, maybe giving it like an initial rundown of, you can even ask Claude Sonnet to generate the rules for you within your repo in Cursor, right? It's going to create one markdown file, and then you can do /generate cursor rules and then give it that markdown file. And so this says this glob is going to apply to /app API and then the /app API.ts as well. And this is for just developing with the Vercel AI SDK. So in this app, in this specific rules file, whenever it's going to deal with this API, it's going to look at the API route structure automatically and do specific stuff for image handling, right? And then for security and validation. So, and then we have component guidelines as well. So this is going to apply to all the components, TSX and TS files. So this is just guidelines for TypeScript files that are generated for when we're doing our best practices. And this came from a single rules file. Same with project setup as well. So this always is going to apply for our app. Similar, it's like pretty much like a Claude MD file. And then this is styling guidelines. So this is a guideline that we made for styling. And then this is just going to be applied whenever we're doing styling stuff. And we're going to apply this manually, we being me. User experiences are always going to apply as well. And so you can kind of see how this works. And it, hopefully I think maybe that can kind of explain the initial part of it. And I think the one that you're also talking about is in your agent here. There's a custom mode that you can add. In these custom modes, you can actually set the models that you want to run. So one of them I think I had originally was like a design review. And so the design review was similar to like a subagent command. And so the design review basically just has, does that not let me edit? Okay, there's a bug right now where Cursor does not let you edit the actual mode. because they used to be able to let you edit. But in essence, you go to advanced options, and then this is where it says custom instructions. In the custom instructions is where you can basically give it that system prompt, and the system prompt is going to basically follow those design guidelines. And you can say, I only want you to edit, or I only want you to do MCP servers, or whatever you want to do. But in this design review mode, you can select the model. It's probably going to have a model selected by default, and then it just go ahead and runs. So that's kind of like a way to kind of set up the agents in the cursor, which I don't really like. I mean, cursor for everything, right? So that's what's up. How are you looking on Subagents, Ray? And are you using any now globally? And are they working well for you? So Subagents, I'm kind of taking it per project, Carl. For Subagents, really, I want to get repeatability. And if I'm doing certain things a lot, I'll look into a Subagent. So that right now, like design review is one of them. Convex is one of them. Convex has a set of rules and rules files that are applied. So basically, I just want to make sure that whenever I'm generating code using Convex, that Subagent gets involved somewhere in this process, does a secondary loop on the code that's generated to make sure it complies with the rule files. If not, then it's going to go ahead and work and try to do that. With Convex, basically, it's the database. So it's the backend store. It's written in TypeScript. It's great. It's my source of truth. And so it's if you aren't familiar, if you're developing stuff with databases and things, if you have a database on the front end, you have to query for it, get some information. And then if you're writing a Next.js app, you have to say, okay, is the app data still like truthful? Is it stale? Like, how do I know if something in the back end has changed? So then, depending on your methodology, you have to write this extra code to either invalidate the cache on your front end and do this types of work. It's, I guess you could say it's non-trivial, but it's something to think about. I've never been a web developer. I've been a not backend guy, but I've worked on client side stuff. And, the web isn't like my forte. I didn't spend most of my years in web. I spent myself mostly like in low level hardware, software, kernel level stuff to operating systems all the way up into the stack, mostly on iPhone, right? iPhone, iOS, watchOS, that type of stuff. But now learning web development, I'm learning all these extra things you have to do. Still this like principle of engineering. There's like something on the back, there's something on the front. They have to be in sync. They have to do things. And there's a lot of techniques and there's a lot of APIs that are available in the Next.js and whatever other platforms you're using to do these types of communications. Part of the reason why I've also migrated over to Convex is because they already have a lot of this tooling built in. So I don't have to write this extra code to figure out what my source of truth is. So for me, it's really great because now I just keep the source of truth in Convex as a database. And then all I do is just, query it via an API call using Convex's tools. And I just get the exact peak of, hey, the database, like what's up there, And it's nice. It's a really beautiful experience. Less code, easier to maintain. And then I just can always assume that all my data on the back end is what it is. If it's not, then, you're just getting a preview of what it is. And so it's a great separation of concerns for me. And it's probably even easier for LLMs to pick it up in the future because of the way that you can structure your data. And yeah, React has been really fun to play with too because of its patterns and kind of keeping these types of things isolated. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. People think I'm sponsored, but someone wrote a comment on my most recent post that just came out today at like 7 a.m. It's like the SaaS speedrun. So if you want to set up Clerk, Convex, and like Stripe, there's basically the stack that you can put it together. And it was done by this guy named Archon, who I actually had him on a live stream. We've been coding together. This is the app that we're building, this little drop the image in type of change the hat type of thing, or whatever you want to do really. And this is something that we're going to continue to build live because I want to show you how we're going to integrate, a payment provider, a database, and everything from scratch. But the speedrun template is the one that I just released. So in 10 minutes, you can basically go from zero to have everything configured and start to take payments in essence. And it's a good introduction to use the stack and kind of see the beauty of the simplicity and, abstract a lot of these types of things away. And I feel like a lot of people are just getting started with vibe coding and getting started with coding. And I'm very confident in this stack in terms of having some good abstractions for, accounts, having good abstractions for databases and the tooling for that stuff, where you don't have to think a lot about all these extra things. I mean, you still have to eventually think about them, obviously, but like anything that makes my life easier and it's free, hey, I'm all about it. So yeah, it's a good start. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Have you checked out Cole Medin's Archon MCP? It's in beta now. What is Cole Medin's Archon MCP? Let me see what this is about. Cole Medin, ARCHON MCP. I'm going to see. So this is what I see on YouTube, and just want to let you know if this is correct, because I need to learn how to spell. So what does this do, and what does it do for you that you like a lot about this? Because would love to know about, what is this, context engineering? I don't understand, but yeah, if you can tell me what's pretty cool, I think that'd be really awesome. Oh, by the way, I have a thing called AI-context. So I've now pushed this app live. If you want to check it out, it's a context visualizer, because we're speaking of that. And so this is, I should probably put a GitHub link, because this is now going to be a public repo. And this is something I use in my video about context rot. So if you're wanting to play around with something or show your friends how queries work and how an interactive app is, originally I was going to make a keynote, but it's just faster to code an app. It's so much faster to make an app to break this down. This is what happens. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is your brain on drugs. It's like, this is your brain on AI. When you make a query, I'm going to reset here. If you just make like a code generation query, you're going to do like a user input. Your agent's going to do some thinking and eat up some token windows. It's going to additionally ask it to do some more things. It does some thinking, and then you have another, code output from the model. And now you've already used 88,000 tokens, or, basically 44% of the context. And so if you basically give it some more prompting, and the agent does 1, 2, 3, 4, you just tell it to ultra think, that's 32,000 tokens. And then it's going to do a bunch of tool calling to grab files and do the different things it needs to do, and then generate some code output. You're already now at 97%. So after like 2 to 3 requests, you can fill up your context pretty fast. And there is a paper released by ChromaDB in which they talked about this. And they said, if once you get past 50%, if the language model has seen a lot of other patterns in your code, it can actually introduce these things called distractors. And the distractors are the ones that actually cause the model to kind of lose its focus and actually kind of throw itself off. This is why when people say, can you just move this 3 pixels to the right? It's going to be like, let me just rewrite your whole database. It can get confused that way. And that's because of the context. And this is how fast you can see that this kind of actually happens for you. So that's at that link that I just posted below. It's called aicontext-vercel.app. Planning to do like an official announcement with open source, but since you're watching this live stream, you can go ahead and play around with it now, share it with some friends and have some fun. You can spawn subagents and you can kind of see what it looks like. And it's a very great tool if you're a teacher or someone in the university, you're wanting to show students, or if you want to just show your friends just what happens when they're vibing, you can play around with this type of thing, configure it the way you want it to. And yeah, it will be open source. It is open source technically now, if you can find it, which you can probably find it pretty easily. And I will be, right now I'm actually in the middle of converting it to Tailwind v4 because I want to throw some styling on it. And that way you can do some other cool styling stuff with it. So yeah, more on that in the future. But this is basically my AI context thing for those who are wondering on what it is. So yeah, let's see, where are we at now? I'm just kind of coming back to the comments here. I'm using Acron Daily, fairly easy to get set up, has some great features. Cool, Ray, thanks, helps a lot. I love Convex. Yeah, Convex is fun. It's so fun. It's a great experience. How well do GPT-5 and Claude handle long multi-step tasks without losing context? Mr. Elliott, well, it depends. But I can tell you this, that GPT-5 is like really steerable. And the prompting methodology I learned is like really fascinating. And if you have a chance, go check out that codebook because of the different steps that you can give it. And it's almost like giving a line worker or someone instructions to do things. The reasons why you can go to McDonald's here, Japan, France, all over the world and have the same tasting burger is because they have these procedures on how people can repeat things in a specific line. So they give them all the products and they just say, make sure you follow these steps. People are trained and then they work basically for minimum wage for the most part. And they're able to deliver the same consistency all around the world, thousands and millions of times a day, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And that's the type of level of detail that you need from an operations standpoint to kind of bring it into a model like GPT-5. And so in terms of like long context and all these other things, this is like, I'm still experimenting myself, but there are a couple of ways that people use it. One is in basically Cursor. Two is like over the API. Three are over MCPs or other types of tool calling. And your favorite apps like Client or whatever will also use the model. And each of them will have their own instruction set or tuning that allows you to communicate with the OpenAI endpoint, basically. And so your mileage may vary depending on all the tools, right? So Cursor, I've noticed, doesn't really eat up a lot of context because they're running other types of techniques under the hood to give the context to OpenAI's GPT-5 models and just give the right amount of things. So basically, in essence, Cursor is handling a lot of that work for you, which is really nice. And it can save you a lot of work and your results may vary. So I'm still trying to figure out what that prompt structure looks like for Cursor and what are the right types of prompting techniques that I use. And I'm only going to learn by doing. So I'd encourage you, if you're in the Discord, definitely share what you've seen so far, because I'd love to learn more from other folks in here as well. So yeah, that's what's up. I think I'm going to answer a question right now from the Discord from Tadpole Smasher. What's your dev stack for iOS apps? Pairing Xcode with Claude Code has been painful. It has been extremely painful. I think what I'm going to do is going to invite on my friend Rudronk. And Rudronk has been developing with iOS for quite some time. And I think he's won some awards as well. And we did an episode a long time ago, almost a year ago, on coding with Swift. And at that time, it's completely evolved, right? At that time it was 3.5 Sonnet. And I want to see what his latest stack is. Because for me, I just pop open Xcode. I really don't use a lot of AI when I'm coding with Swift. But I think it'd be interesting to kind of see what his techniques are. Because at that time when I was using Swift with AI, it just was really bad. And it had all this outdated information. And since then, there's been a lot of new, MCPs, different types of things that can help bring context in. And people have been using it with Cursor to build apps. But I'm mostly interested in like the latest APIs, and I want to see how it's handling, all the different stuff. But I'll have that on my priority list to make sure I can get him on maybe this week or next week, and he can talk us through his workflow and how he sets it up with Xcode and what are some of the best practices and so forth. So if you're interested, definitely drop a like or a comment and let me know if you're also interested in it as well. I do want to tell you, Mr. Tadpole Smasher, if you are working on the client side, you want to make sure you proxy your requests and do not put your API keys ever on the device and ship them to the App Store. I know it sounds really obvious now, but there have been some incidents where people actually have their keys in the app. And so what ends up happening, somebody will set up this proxy. And so they set up this proxy. It's called Charles Proxy. Anyone can do this. You install the app, you set it up, and you can basically sniff the internet traffic that leaves the devices on your network and go up to whatever server they're hitting. And so in there, you'll actually see what the body is. And the body will actually show the API key and whatever other prompts and everything that you're sending up from the device to an endpoint. And so in essence, your phone is going to be talking directly to the OpenAI endpoint, and that's probably not a good idea. What you want your phone to do is hit a proxy server and say, hey, this is my request. Here's my image. Here's some information about what I want to do. Your proxy server is going to be the one that's going to be saying, okay, cool. Thank you for that information. Hang on and I'll get you some results. And the proxy server is going to be like, hey, here's my secret key. OpenAI, give me the information. OpenAI returns the results to your proxy server, and your proxy server then gives you the results back to the device. And so that way the devices, or even if they set up that proxy in that man in the middle, they will only see the information that goes up. They won't get those secret keys or anything like that. So there's a couple of ways to do this. You can write your own, push them up to AWS, probably write one on Vercel if you want. But once people sniff out what that URL is and they know what your endpoint is, they can probably take down your proxy server if they're really trying to spam it. And so there obviously all these mitigation techniques. You have to become like a server engineer all of a sudden, right? So like that's kind of the thing that I've been learning over time of how these things have evolved. There are some really fast ways, and there's this one called aiproxy.com, aiproxy.com, Proxe, aiproxy.com, if I can spell. And I've had them on the show before, and I really love their products, which is why I've had them on the show. And I've had another friend who actually had his key get hacked. Actually, one of my first videos on my YouTube channel was interviewing my friend that I just met online. And he told me the story. And then through that whole process, because I said, hey, I want to develop an app on my phone. What should I do? Right? Like, what are you guys doing these days outside of Apple? Right? So this is a pretty cool piece of software, and these guys are super cracked. They have, all kinds of encryption. They do everything, down to really good standards. There's a partial key as well that gets exchanged. There's, they have their own proxy server. You also exchange the certificate stuff so that you know that it's coming from an iPhone specifically for your app. So anyone who's hitting the server is not going to like take it down type of thing. And so, yeah, they're really, really cool. And I think they have a free pricing tier. Yeah. Or get started with the free plan, includes 1K requests a month. So if you're prototyping and you just get your app on the App Store, you can vibe, right? Once it passes 1K requests, that means you probably have some product market fit, right? And then we can just basically go with the starter plan. So I have an app that I'm working on, which is literally this same app that we're doing on the web, but I'm doing an iOS version too, just for fun, because I want to play with the API anyways. And this app is doing the exact same thing. And so I'm going to be using AI proxy because it's just super easy for me. All the device attestation, everything that I need to take care of is here. They have some documentation that's pretty well documented. And I definitely would have you take a look at that. The integration guide is like a 10-minute video, less than that. Todd walks you through the entire whole thing, which is super fast and super awesome. You just basically set up your device check, and they even have the stuff in these little pictures. It could probably take you less than 10 minutes if you're pretty familiar with the stuff. But yeah, once you get that set up and up and running, you can see your stuff here. And they also have some, I think the other bonus here are the actual projects. So in your resources, they have a directory of AI apps. And so if you go here, these are the AI apps. No, hold on. They have, let's see, docs, sample apps. If you go to the sample apps, you can literally, this is the app that I was using for the sample app. You can change out the provider to OpenAI, and then you can just do the exact thing that I was just showing you on the web, right? And you can, throw up a login or something like that, or a paywall, and you can ship the app to the App Store like immediately, right? You can do this. Like they wrote these apps, and Todd is a cracked developer, and he actually has a metal shaders in here. So when you hit generate, there's some metal shaders that are already built in that he wrote that's going to do this cool like animation thing. And so you can just learn a lot just by downloading these projects for free, by the way. So would highly recommend. This is a really cool one, a film recommendation app on Grok. So he built this, and then you can just drag with your finger if you want like a drama or sci-fi or whatever, and it's going to show you like the movie recommendation, which is pretty cool. So it'd be really fun to play with these on stream. There's an AI sticker generator with Dolly. Now we could probably make our own. I mean, we should just flip some of these apps and see if we can put them in the App Store and just see if we can make some money. I think it'd be really a fun experiment. There's like a voice transcriber with OpenAI's Whisper. We can probably use Grok now. There's a whole, like, this was last year. This continues to evolve. I'm so hyped about this stuff. I like it. I could talk about this all day, but this is really fun. I hopefully, but yeah, that's going to be my next thing, Tadpole Smasher, to get you to see if I can get Rodronk on the show. We can go over the latest agentic coding with iOS and figure out what's the stack that we need to kind of get this successful and get people up and running. Because I think, yeah, coding with AI, I know people are making apps right now, but I feel like we just got to get someone in who's really like dialed in on this stuff and has been on it all day. So a lot of my time has been trying to learn web development and trying to, use AI with those types of things. I could probably figure out, but yeah, it would be really great. A really awesome episode, if you know what I mean. So let me kind of catch up more with the comments here. It feels like Claude Code keeps reading the same files. Any advice on how to speed this up? Maybe I need agents to orchestrate this and pass the read documents to other agents. Yes. One thing you can do is, okay, when you call a subagent in Claude Code, what it does is going to spin off another agent to grab context in its own little kind of context window. And as it's gathering information and reading files, it's going to do whatever task was given to it. So for example, if you wanted to figure out where my code is, this bug happening and like what files are affected, it can send off a subagent to start looking for those files. And then it'll find everything. And then in its instructions, it's going to give it a summary and send it back to the main agent. So the main agent is only going to get a summary. And if you want the subagent to do work, you have to be explicit to that subagent saying, this subagent should be able to write out a markdown file on the work that it achieved, XYZ, and then write that out to this specific directory, right? So that's if you want to capture more context than a summary, Or if you want the subagent to actually do some work, like write the files or write code, you want to give those instructions. It's extremely moldable, but that's actually what you can do. If you have a big plan, you want to chunk out the plan and say, each of these subagents should be able to work in parallel. And so you want some parallel agents to kick off. So then you'll see like 3 or 4 agents kick off and you'll say task, whatever, task this, task that. And then that means those subagents are actually going in and writing those changes in parallel for you. But beware, as one file changes and another subagent is going to work on it, it's going to try to like stop itself, wait for that file to be done, and then try to grab it again and get the latest information from it. So play around, experiment. Let me know how that works, Alfredo. That'd be interesting. So check out Archon MCP semantic search or Archon. Okay. I need to check out this Archon thing. That'd be really cool. Yeah, nice to see it. Need to test ASAP. Does it use Docker? Okay. So the MTP server uses a Docker. The database is Supabase. And you can either use cloud or host your own. Fire. So in short, for subagents globally, use Design Reviewer and Convex only when you make a project specific ones, right? Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool. Like maybe I will just hop on Discord and just chat a little bit more. I want to learn more about your workflow and kind of see if we can kind of dig in and see what makes sense. Archon allows you to manage your dev projects with tasks, sort of like a Kanban board. Oh, that's cool. It has a web crawler that will index and vectorize documentation and knowledge base based on. This sounds amazing. What is this thing? So this is I think the thing I was looking at from ACHRA. Oh no, Archon ACRAN MCP. I think is what you called it. Yeah, hit me with that link in the Discord, Mike. I'm curious to see that because I can't pull it up right now. It's an awesome name. Stealing it from my slug. It's so good, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's up. Yo, what's going on, Aqua Wolf? Hey, Fernando, it's been a while. How you been? Loving seeing the growth of the channel. Going to check out actually AI Proxy for sure. Yeah, Aqua Wolf, haven't seen you on for a while. I'd love to see some of your streams. I got to check back in on you and see. Hopefully things are pretty good. I love what you're doing. Another person who just likes to turn on the camera and code live. So definitely check out Aqua Wolf for those who haven't had a chance to check it out. I like to support everyone who's doing AI streaming. One, like turning on the camera to talk to people is really, really hard to do. And that's one part of it. Two is like, there's one thing of coding and then there's one thing about coding and explaining at the same time live, which I actually found much harder to do than actually coding itself. And so it's an interesting balance and it's just hard, but like, I'm just happy that other people like Aqua Wolf can turn on the camera too and just try to start talking and doing stuff. And definitely support everyone who tries to do this type of thing. It's not that easy to do. I would just think the best way to do it is just have an app talk to your backend separately using the user's auth you should have set up on your backend. I think this is regarding how like proxying and so forth. So yeah, there are different ways to do this. If your backend like Convex can go make a API call, come back and return the results into the user or some type of table that you have linked, that's definitely doable. There's many ways to accomplish this task. For iOS, you want to make sure that the devices are coming from you, like the requests are coming from your actual app, because there will be people who find the endpoint and then we'll just start spamming it. So like, even though they can have the auth, they need a specific device certificate from Apple to say like, this is a genuine Apple device. Unless you ship the app for Android too or something like that, and you have like both Android and Apple, then you have to figure out a different scheme to figure out what you need to set up on the back end to ensure that the trust is from the specific, app, your device, and all these different variables and things. It gets complicated once you start getting multi-platform, but it's worth solving because if your app is already scaling and there's a lot of demand, I think that's probably worth looking into. Yeah, I need to check that out. Can somebody link me with that in the Discord? I'd love to see it. Yeah, coding and live streaming is like using both sides of your brain. Yeah, I just started streaming back up 2 days ago. Okay, I have to check that out. I want to check out your streams. I love seeing other people code and type and stuff like that. So typo, Archon was Archon by code meddling. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I hate the iPhone typing so much sometimes because it will autocorrect, and I'm just trying to move super fast. I'm like, you should already know about all these different messages I've been sending that I want to type it this way. So yeah, Ryan, how's it going? Helps keep you context across any IDE or interface and pick up basically where you left off, since all the knowledge is in one place. Bro, Achron. How we need to cook with this Acron. So it's Achron MCP, right? It's the operating system for. It's a beta release. Let's cook. This is crazy. So the knowledge and task backbone for AI coding assistants. Look at this cool like animation. So Cursor, Claude Code, Windsurf goes through this. It's a knowledge engine. It runs in Python. It uses Fast API, has an Acron UI to control the features. And then it looks like people were saying it connects to a knowledge source like web crawling documents and everything. And then the intelligence like PRDs, feature planning. This is cool because I can't tell you how many times, and you've seen me on stream, like generate all these specific things just through memory, right? But if you have a framework, which is I think why this person wrote it and probably why it's really popular now, because it has like 7,300 stars, is because it's actually useful. It's like everything that we do every day that we say you should be doing is this. Let's cook with this. Let's see. Let me make this a little bit bigger so y'all can read this. Okay. So what is Acron? It's a command center for AI coding agents. For you, it's like a sleek interface, your documentation, crawled websites. So like this is really cool because I don't know about you, but like I have 3 different projects going or 4, and then the documentation spread out everywhere. So why not just have one place? This is fire. Wow. Whoa. So it's used to be the AI agent that builds other agents. Holy smokes, that's amazing. Yo, Fernando. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, Fernando. That's super amazing for you to do that. Just an FYI, if those who want to join the Discord, I'm in this transition period right now because I'm just transitioned everything to Polar. And so I'm going to have a members only post to kind of talk about this transition. So those folks who are wanting to get on the Discord, it's going to be like a new like Discord thing. We already met our first 100 member goal. And so I'm super thankful for everyone that's been able to join here. And so I'm going to get you some special member pricing for those who are in this transition period. So that way that if you're already a member, I have this whole member list. I'm just going to go through my list and do the verifications. And then I'll send you a code to get over into the Discord so that we can do that type of thing. So that'd be really, really cool. But yeah, Fernando, thank you so much for becoming a member on the stream. I really appreciate it because, it's really fun to have everyone here kind of building and cooking at the same time. I'm just learning a lot from the community. I think it's just been a really great time for us to talk about this type of things and share these tools. I think this is really, really great. Whoa. Okay, so all we have to do is clone this and then we go to the environment. So we just give it a Superbase URL. This is what they were saying earlier. And the Superbase service key. So they introduce a service key use. Okay. I'm not familiar. So I set up the project and you copy and paste the execute commands. Then we compose it. Okay. So I don't have to have a Superbase account, right? This just can run locally. Service key. Oh, my Siri is like freaking out. Okay. I'm good. Okay. Okay. Agents coming soon. Holy smokes. So the server runs here, the MCP server runs here, and then we configure the API keys here. Wow. So database reset, start fresh if needed. Reset database will delete all the data for Archon. Test web crawling. Okay, so in this app, basically what we're going to be able to get is web crawling, document processing, an MCP and AL/ML like ranking for the agents. So smart web crawling, document processing, code example execution, vector search, source management. And then MCPs, there's 10 MCPs. Wow. This is really cool. I want to see how good it is at generating these PRDs or if we can define them because I don't know if you know, but the PRD files that I generate, they tend to vary depending on the platform. So if I'm using Claude Code versus GPT-5, and then I want to maybe see if I can give it that cookbook and then have a formula for generating GPT-5 specific agentic work. So maybe I can do like a pull request into this platform and say, like I haven't played with it yet, but I need to play around with it and see what happens. Because that'd be really cool to add that as a tool set saying, if you're going to use GPT-5, it can take your PRD and try to see if it can mold the specific tasks in the GPT-5 format, right? And set up like exit criteria and these different types of things that we need. Wow. So yeah, this is the microservice. It has a front end, which is Vite and React. Talks to the API server using fast, MCP agent service, Pydantic, okay. And then has the database with PG Vector. This is really cool. Dang. Okay. Wow. So this is all running locally, and for development, you just run this type of thing. So Docker pose, okay. So all we have to do is like, wow. So yeah, this is very promising. So you're gonna have these communicating to the knowledge engine. The knowledge engine is what's the one that basically grabs all your documentation. And then this is kind of cool because it's your own local documentation. You're not having to worry about like a third-party source. This is crazy. I'm gonna star this. It's a beta release. Okay, that makes sense. Dang, I want to get this installed right now. Should we do it? Let's go. Let's go. Terminal. I'm going to do it right now. Let's do it right now. CD workspace. I can't. I had to do this on the stream because I want to do it. I don't know. I'm just so hyped right now. Git clone. And so I don't know if you know this, but if you do semicolon, you can actually do two tasks at once. So for those who don't know, like you do CD, whatever this whole thing is, or git clone, and then you do semicolon, and then the second task will execute. So as soon as the first task is done, then the second task will execute. So that's what we're going to do here. Oopsie, right here. Great. So now we're in the Archon folder, or Archon. I keep calling Archon. So we're going to cp.env.example, and then we're going to do .env. All right. Cool. And then I think what I should just do is type in cursor dot. I'm just going to open this whole thing in cursor because I love the cursor ID. Okay. What's going on, fam? Yo. Let's go. But this group is on fire as well. Okay. That's so funny. Sweet. Okay. Okay. He's very open to community input. Watched his launch party the other day. Man, this is really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I mean, thank you guys for putting me on this because I didn't realize this is totally fire. It's more for storage than actual method to generate PRDs. Okay, so we can all have our own document store. What I'm curious about is the interval at which it gets documentation, because that'll be really interesting. I'm also really curious. Well, I think the advantage here is a couple of things, right? One is that it can move between the different platforms, because I have documentation in Cursor, and in Cursor, I love the experience of just being able to go to my settings and then being able to go like indexing and docs, and then go into here to basically have all my documentation indexed. And so to me, that saves me a lot of time and headache. I don't really think about it. And if I need to get the latest Polar docs, I'm just going to go ahead and hit refresh. So this will now re-index them, and boom, like it'll be up to date. And so, but the only problem is that these documentation here in Cursor are only available in Cursor, and they're not available to my Claude Code agent, or they're also not available if I go over to like Windsurf or something like that. So I think if you're thinking about considering this, this system that we're actually about to kind of play around with here, is especially if you're between these platforms, this is probably, a way to kind of leverage that type of thing. If you're kind of coding between that, if you're just all day in Cursor, this may be a little bit overkill, but it will be interesting to play around with. For me, as a developer, I like to play around with these types of tools and things, but you can kind of see this is still kind of creating the index. Obviously it's doing its thing there. And so, yeah, that's its own thing. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm setting it up right now. Everyone else is doing it. Let's go. I think there's a typo in the env file. You need your actual Superbase URL. Oh, I think so. Okay, that's interesting. I will not stop using Claude Code. ChatGPT-5 is bubbling. Only need more developments far ahead. Yeah, I mean, Claude Code, Opus, that Opus model is too damn good. And to me, you need to pay that like $200 a month to get that really good Opus usage. My favorite thing to do in Claude Code actually is to use the new plan mode. If you haven't done that yet, I'll show you real quick. So if you do Claude, let me make this bigger. Yes, proceed please. If you do /models, you can /model. In /model, you can now select Opus plan mode. And what it does underneath the hood is it will set up Opus. And then when you, to enable it, you hit basically Shift Tab. In plan mode, you're going to use the Opus model, and then it's going to do that. And then when it's ready to go out of plan mode, it's just going to go ahead and just select the Claude Sonnet model and just going to keep going for there. If you're on the $100 a month plan, this is what I was doing all the time on my $100 a month plan. I even do it now on the Pro plan with $200 a month because of how fast Claude Sonnet is. Claude Sonnet is really fast, very reliable, really, really good. And the second caveat is if you use Claude Sonnet 4 with extended thinking, like the Ultra Think, the actual intelligence of that model is actually smarter than the Claude Opus 4 for coding, which is really interesting. It gets you thinking about it. You're like, wait, so if I do extended thinking with Sonnet 4, it's smarter than the Opus 4, not 4.1, 4. But if you turn on extended thinking for Opus 4, the Opus 4, like the big gigantic model, obviously is going to beat it for that. But that's an interesting thing to think about. And so you're like, you mean I could just code all day with Sonnet with extended thinking? Yeah, it's pretty damn good. You don't always have to use Opus for everything. And so you can, just FYI, I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, but yeah, that's probably the cheat code that no one's really talking about right now. And then one of the things I wanted to configure was this cool status bar thing in GitHub. So there is a way to get these cool status bars to show you what model is selected here. And I had it configured for a project. So I think if I go to, so here I can just do Claude. And then in here, it actually shows you like, it should kick off. Yeah. So this tells you like the model that's currently being used, the number of tokens that are used, the active block, and these are the types of parameters that I'm actually kind of running here. So if I do Shift Tab, now you'll see plan mode and you'll see it switch over to Opus 4.1. And then if I just get out of plan mode, you'll see it switch back to Claude Sonnet 4, which is pretty cool. So if you're wanting to do this type of tracking here, I think this is in my, let's see, cat cursor dot. I have all these cursor windows open, but let's see. If we go into, is it .claude design MD? Maybe? No. Oh man, I'm kind of blanking out right now. I'll have to look that up because I'm kind of running out of energy. I need to get some more food. But let me see if I could find it on my Discord, because I know I had something in my Discord for the GitHub repo to find this. Yes, it's called Claude Powerline. Let me just drop this in right now. Copy text. And so I'll put this in the chat right now. So this is the repo for this guy. It's called the status bar. So it's called Claude Powerline. I just put this in the chat. So definitely check that out. So this is how you can get those little like Powerline features down below where it's showing you like what model you're selected and everything like that. And if you go into here, it's going to just show you one command to get this set up. It's pretty fast. So you just basically install the fonts, and then in your settings.json, you would add this command here to kind of get this set up. And so once you get that set up, that's what you're seeing down below. And it's pretty fast. And you can kind of see what these different types of things are. So yeah, you can configure them in a lot of different ways. And I had a Discord session earlier last week where we just kind of did it live in Discord, and we were just everyone was kind of configuring their stuff. So yeah, another reason to join the Discord is so chill. Okay, so the config files are found in these different places. One is you can have them inside your project, inside a .claude Powerline JSON, which is what I currently had in my project, which is for that project. This is the way I had it configured. But if I wanted to do it globally, like in my user area, you could just put that JSON file into here. And that's how you get that configuration that you wanted. So that's what's up. There's a new status line command making it native in Claude Code now. What? Let's see. /a Archon. So I do status Claude. Let's see. Whoa. Okay. Where are we? So here we are. /status. Bro, look at all these features they've added. Oh my God, this is crazy. Look at all this. Create PRP. Oh. Project requirement. Oh my God. list and manage background bash shells. There's so many slash commands now. Let's go to status. So show including version, model, account, API connectivity, tool statuses. Let's go. What is this? Not connected in cursor. Oh my goodness. So enter to continue. Okay. No. Is it slash status? Hold on. Oh, status line. Slash status line. Oh. Is setting up the status line. Allow 3 tools. I'll configure by setting up the status. Wait, it just does it automatically? Oh, it's reading my ZSH. It's doing it in my ZSHRC file. Oh. Whoa. Frosting? Bro. Okay, did you just... Am I getting a virus from Claude Code right now? Because it's going to start reading my Claude settings. Wow. Wait, so just slash Claude status line. You see this slash Claude status line, and it's basically just configuring it for us automatically. None of this extra, bro. I've saved my period. Okay. Oh, I see. Nice. Hello. Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going on here, bro. So what is it saying? So now it has a .Claude status line command sh file. So it generated a shell script, and the status line is now powered by Power Level 10K Rainbow theme. I have Power Level 10K, which is what you're seeing in this cool formatting stuff. So whenever I open a new window, you see this formatting. That's all powered by Power Level 10K. And so that's how you're able to see like these changes. And whenever I have git status, like cd, my project, right? In my project, you can see what branch I'm on. So that's super duper handy. And the fact that it's wrote a shell script, it like looked through my configuration files, and instead of like applying something into my shell environment and messing it up, it's like, here, let me just write a script for you. God, it's so damn intelligent. Holy smokes. So now it says, okay, read the JSON file. I'm just reading the code, by the way. I'm not going to YOLO accept it. Maybe I should. So it's going to extract the values from, okay. So this has got the model name. It's got the current directory, project, and output style. This is nice. Okay, get status if in a Git repo. Okay, that's great. Get the time, build the status line with the colors. That is fire. Do you want to make this edit? Yes. Let's go ahead and do it. So is it per project or is it globally? I'm really curious now. Damn, this is fire, bro. The status lines is, yeah. That's what we're doing right now. This is so crazy. Okay. So let's see what happens. So now it says model Opus plan. It's going to be status line, and then it runs this command. So you want to make this edit to the JSON. Oh, okay. So now I'll have a new, okay, so I still keep the model name, but now they have this thing called status line. And it looks like it's just a parameter that gets passed into Claude settings. And the status line is basically part of the settings within Claude Code to say, okay, you're going to run this command, and it's this shell script. So if I want to update the colors, or if I want to update what's displayed in the status line, now I just go over to the status line shell script and modify that. That is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's see what happens. Oh my God, bro. This is crazy. Next thing is just going to order me a pizza, right? Like, I feel like that's what's going to happen next. Yeah, thanks, man. This is so great. You can tell status line, give me Git model usage, Pomodoro timer, local weather, Tamagotchi, and all kinds of other things. And it sets everything up, bro. I've heard of the Tamagotchi thing. I didn't realize that you can just do that from status line. So I can do status line right now and say, can you add a Tamagotchi? And it'll just update the script for me. Bro, come on, bro. Y'all are crazy here. Okay, so, yeah, nice. Ask the status line to give me context window progress bar, and it works great. Wait, no way, bro. Really? Okay, let's do this. Has been successfully configured. The agent has created a colorful status line. Okay, so I don't see it yet, but I wonder if I have to exit, right? And then I could do Claude. So it has it down below, and you can kind of see that it's kind of messed up because of the encoding that it's doing. And so I can tell it to fix it, which would be really interesting. So I could just say, this is what I see from my status line. And it's putting these unknown characters, these slash status line. Can you fix the bug as, let me kind of move this comment, by the way. I'm going to move this up a little bit more. Yeah, we're just having some fun with Claude Code right now. This is really fun. Can you fix the bug as I'm seeing in my status line? And then from there, after it fixes this bug, I want to see if we can do the progress, context window progress bar, because I think that'd be super fire. And then maybe add a Tamagotchi in here, because that'd be so fire too, right? So like, or I could just say, you know what it is? I made an app in V0 called Lock Me In, Bro. Lock In, Bro. Okay, so I want to remake this in the status line. So for those who don't know, like this is kind of like a meme on X where like you need this like motivational like, you know, quotes. It's like, you have enough time to make this happen. It's like, it's just a reminder that you just need to lock the F in. And you just, you know, it tells you like, this is January and you still have time to lock in. So we're in August and you still got 4 more months to lock in. So commit to the progress, not the outcome. And like, see how those little like quote lines at the bottom. So it'd be really cool to basically make like a lock in meme in actual Claude Code. So at the bottom, it'll be scrolling something like this, like motivational quotes, right? It'd be like, I think that'd be just so hilarious, bro. Lock in, bro. Yeah. So if you actually want to check that out, it's a real app that I've deployed on Vercel. It's called Lock In, Bro, and I made it with V0 like in like 1 prompt or 2. I took the screenshot of the Lock In, Bro like meme type of thing, and it's so clean. I want to turn this into a wall clock, but like imagine this in your Claude Code, bro. Like, Are you with me on this? Can you guys lock? You have enough time to make things happen. Lock in. Bro culture is hilarious on Twitter. I swear. I can't right now. I can't. Okay. What did they say? Okay, so it read the bug. Oh, the Unicode display. Okay. Yeah, let's go and fix it. And then let me see if I can pull up the V0 instance here, the V0 Lock-in Bro app, and then see if I can get it some of the, I think there's like a dictionary. Let's see if I love V0 lock in. All right, fam, let's lock in. Do I have lock in? You all? Okay, here we go. This was my prompt. This is literally, it's like develop a web application that's designed to serve as a lock-in reminder inspired by the social media trend. The application should display a primary message such as lock-in accompanied by a series of motivational reminder quotes. At the bottom, the quote should dynamically appear scrolling horizontally, similar to a Jumbotron display using a bold, easily readable font. The application should be visually engaging, user-friendly. Consider a clean, modern design aesthetic. And then I basically just give it this image. And the image was this, like, oops, let me kind of make my, oh no. Okay, let me refresh the screen because I'm doing like a zoom just so that it gets easier to see yeah, let's see here. And yeah, is this the app? Yeah, so this is the actual app. This is the screenshot I gave it, right? And it generated a pretty dynamic app. And this is the lock-in reminder application. So basically just in one prompt, we made the app, which is kind of crazy if you could think about it. Like in one prompt, we made that whole app. And I want to see if we can make the same app inside of, here are the messages. Yeah. I think Claude Code can cook with us. And I'm really curious to see what it's going to do for the status line. So that'd be hilarious. Fix the status line. Okay, so it fixed the bug rendering issue. So let's go ahead and Control-C, Claude. I'm curious. Yeah, it didn't fix the bug. Okay, I have a whole nother later problem to fix, but then let's just go ahead and see if we can give it the lock-in slash status line. Okay. So here's a context for an app that I built. So I've built an app like this. So I want to convert it so it works in a status line. And then just give it this. And then I'm just curious to see what it does. I'm really, really curious to see what it's going to cook for us. So, I mean, these models are so smart. I don't have to like break too much stuff down. So I'm just literally giving it the prompt that I gave to V0 because V0 cooked with it super hard for us. And like, I want this scrolling stuff at the bottom. It'd be so hilarious. And it already knows about this meme apparently, because it's already built into its whole, model training. So the fact that it's even writing lines of code, let's go family. Let's go. My daughter desperately needs a lock-in bro app tattoo. Sean, let's go fam. All right, let's just see what code it wrote. It doesn't show me the code. Oh, stay locked in, stay winning. Oh my God. Wow. Did you see this at the bottom? It refreshes. I think it stays refreshing. Oh, it's still deploying. Whoa. Okay. So this is the status line has successfully converted your lock-in web app into the concept of Claude Code status line. The configuration includes the main lock-in message with eye-catching red background and icons, rotating motivational quotes, and the change throughout the day. So 20 different quotes. Clean, modern design adapted for terminal display, bold, readable fonts using terminal color codes. What? And then see, it says right here, a lock-in. And so what's happening is because of my terminal configuration, I'm getting these weird values, but at least it still says like lock-in, and you are going to get probably different results that are actually going to work for you. I have a terminal problem that I need to kind of debug, and we can do it on stream. We may not, but like at least. Oh, wow. Okay. So help me. I'm still seeing, let's see. Oh, what's going on? I think I crashed my terminal. Did I? Let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah. Whoa, distraction is the enemy. These quotes are fire, bro. Imagine like I can't right now. I can't lock in because I'm so locked in on not being locked in. Bro, this is so crazy. Okay. This is great. Can you help me fix as it is still showing up in the status line? Let me see. Flummoxing. It's flummoxing right now. Distraction is the enemy. Bro, this is too much. Okay. So it's going to read the Claude settings JSON. Yes. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, I think you need the nerd font in the terminal. I do have the nerd fonts, but that's how it's able to display. But when Claude Code kicks into the shell session, it's possible that it's not loading it up there, because in here, like this is using the nerd font. Or am I using the nerd font? Let me just double check, because my font that I'm using is, JetBrains Mono nerd font. And so, yeah, I think that's what it is. So yeah, let's see. You want to proceed? Yes. Okay. We'll see. It may come up with a different alternative. I'm curious to see what the model's going to do. Don't forget context progress. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. My bad. I get so distracted. I gotta lock in. Family, I gotta lock in. All right. I love you guys for being on the stream and kind of locking in with me, if you know what I mean. All right, open changes in cursor. You want to make this edit the status line. Okay, so I don't even know what the edit is. Oh, cursor is over here, and there's probably a different window that is showing me where this. Okay, cursor has been trying to show me the diffs, and I've been ignoring it. Okay, so here's what's going on. It's now going to use terminal safe symbols instead of the previous ones. So let me just kind of change my head over here. So this is kind of what was going on. So this is the actual file that Claude Code wrote in this specific directory. And this is kind of what we're seeing, the lock icon. So now we're just going to get the emojis in the actual terminal. And then this is the quotes that it wrote first. So like these are fire quotes: focus mode activated, champions lock in when it matters, stay hungry, stay focused. Bro, this app is fire. I'm not going to lie. This app is so fire. So we should build. It's like, maybe I should figure out can it, would this still work with the printf stuff? But we'll see. I'm going to see how it does. And then, because I have a feeling it's going to mess up with that. Yes. Do you want to make this edit? Yes. Bro, we got it. We got it. We got it working. Oh my God. Look at this. The lock in, the world is watching. Oh, what? Family, we are locked in. Now we got to get the progress bar thing and we're going to be cooking. Let's go. Got to update the terminal, bro. Got check in Ghostly when you have a chance for sure. This is fire, bro. Like, are we locked in or what? This is crazy, bro. Madi, do you just see what we just did? We're locked in right now. The world is watching. The world is watching right now. Oh my God, bro. Okay. Now the context progress bar. Okay. So /status line, help me set up. Actually, I don't even need to do /status line. This is amazing. Can you now help me set up the status? Let's see, the context window progress bar for the session. Okay, let's just go do that. Stay focused and stay dangerous with a little thing. This is crazy. Bro, I can't right now. This is too funny, bro. This is so funny. All right, I'm gonna allow it for this session. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm crying right now. I'm lock in, bro. Are you locked in? Lock in, bro. Gonna update, bro. You have to do this right now. You have to do this. This app is fire. I should just, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm just going to stick to Claude Code now. Cursor, if you can get me a status line that shows me that I can lock in like this, bro, I can do a lock in, bro, app inside of Cursor. It's game over. You know, maybe I could turn this to actually a real plugin. Actually, that would be a fire plugin for Cursor, right? A VS Code plugin that will just basically keep you locked in. And it just moves over to the status bar or something, or it has a status bar line at the bottom that just kind of tells you. So you lock in and show them what you're made of. But like, this is so good because you are what you think and you are what you read. So like whatever you're reading it's your home environment. Ghostly is great, but into WizTerm because of its built-in, Tmox, for sure. Added to the Cursor CLI. Oh, my guy's cooking. Yeah, it's using Western. Okay, fire though. So what does it say now? I've added the context window progress bar to your lock-in status line. Do I need it? Oh, look at this. It has the brain. Sonnet 4 with the brain icon, and I've used 22. This is so handy. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so good. So the color-coded warnings go from green, yellow, and red as the context fills up. Bro, now we can lock in and watch our context window and then stay locked in. $1 billion SaaS. Let's go. Let's go. This is fire. Oh my goodness. And motivational theme while giving you real-time visibility into your context usage. Perfect for staying locked in and aware of your conversation limits. Family, we are cooking. This is too good. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Locked in plans, right? That's what's up. Status line unicorn, bro. Bro, this status line is goated. I'm sorry, Cursor. It's going to be hard for me to code with you because now I have the most baller status line ever, bro. Like, I'm just going to show up to the cafe, have like 5 windows open of these Claude Code terminals, and just going to be locked in this, locked in that, locked in this. Context windows, just keep your status window, keep your context window with the little brain here, green, and you're Gucci, fam. That's all you need. That's all you need. Do you see how fast we did this? You know, if you /status line, tell it whatever you want it to do, and they'll make it for you. I don't need a Tamagotchi. I need locked in, bro. We are lockedinbro.com. Locked in. Actually, I should just get that lockedinbro.com or staylockedinbro.com or something like that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to set the context window. Yes, you have to do this right. Meow. Right. Meow. Not yesterday, right now. See, thank you so much for helping me stay locked in. Bro, this stream is fire. Oh my God, I love you guys. This is probably the best AMA session I've ever had. Can you throw the prompt you use for the locked in Discord or something? Oh yeah, I'll throw it on the Discord for sure. Okay, I built an app like this. Okay, I'll actually copy this and put this into the Discord right now. And so I'll put this into the live stream hangout. That reminds me, I need to make a resources in the Discord so y'all can have this. So I'll just put that in here. So prompt 1, 2, 3. Oops, 1, 2, 3. And then there we go. So I put it in the Discord so you can go ahead and check it out. That way you guys can kind of check out what that prompt is, and you can copy it and literally put it in. So yeah, and then I'll put the prompt in for the status bar too, I think, so that you can have that. So this is great. Can you help me fix? And then this is amazing. Can you help me with the status bar window, this part? So I think you want this one too. Follow on 1, 2, 3, this. Okay, cool. So yeah. Yeah, if you want to get in the Discord, I have the link in the description. And then, yeah, right now the price is $14.99. It's going to double at 200 members. We're about 140 or so. So once it gets to that 200, it's going to be like $30 a month. But you can basically get in right now for half the price. And then my early gang has already been able to get in. So there's a little bit of a transition period. And if you're already a member, I'm going to have a members only post that I'll be able to describe kind of how to get that into that transition period so we can get you in. Everything's going to be done through Polar now. And it's just way easier because as soon as you sign up and everything, you get right into the Discord. Everything was done by hand because I didn't think we'd hit that membership number so fast, and we kind of exceeded it super quickly. But I want to honor the price for those who have been able to stay locked in with me. Early member gang from 0 to 100. You guys are my true 100 fam. I have a Discord tag for you in the Discord that says 100 because you guys are my first 100. And you guys keep that early bird pricing that you have locked in for life. So as the prices tiers go up, you're pretty much locking that price, which is really awesome. So, you know, it's kind of fun. You discover me early on, you invest early, you get in, and then you keep that price for life, basically. So, you know, Discord access for price is super awesome. And I enjoy the people that have been in this community. Y'all see them showing up right now. Huge shout outs to everyone who's like really flying in and kind of popping into the chats as well and kind of making this really happen. So, Ray, can you add the plan in for Enforcer and Validator? I'll have to check that out. Sis, going to add it right now. Yeah. File Reaper, let me know how that goes for adding that command in. That'd be really cool. So yeah, if you want to check out the Discord, it's rfer.me/discord. And so I'm going to type that in, HTTPS rfer.me/discord. So make sure you hit this link here below. And then that'll get you into the Discord so you can lock in that price that you can get. And then I also have like a QR code. So if you are pretty much into QR codes and things like that, I think sometimes it's easier if you're watching on live. If you're like, I know some people are watching on TV. So let me just go ahead and pop in the stream here, and then you can kind of see this. So yeah, this is basically all you have to do is just scan this QR code. I'm going to put this up here and then put this down here. And this is how you can lock in with us, hang out on the Discord, scan that type of thing, join the community. Super duper awesome. This is basically the Sunday AMA. And so the goal for the Sunday AMA is basically, you can ask me any questions, Cursor, Claude Code, and then we just cook live, just kind of like we're doing with this status bar thing and with this other thing that we're talking about. So I want to go ahead and see if I can get that other thing configured, kind of maybe in the Discord or with some other folks in Discord who've been cooking with me live, because that MCP, that other MCP seems like it's really thick. There's kind of like a lot of different moving pieces there. So that'd be kind of really fun to hang out. Like I think also someone just asked in the Discord, his name's Hudat, says, I have Claude Code Max 200 plan and the $20 Cursor plan. What would Cursor CLI $200 Cursor plan do that Claude Code CLI can't? Right now, the Cursor CLI, I think it's in beta, and the things that it does, I think it can kick off like background agents. It also moves really fast because I think they're using APIs that they have that they can leverage in their app that Claude Code can't. As far as like side-by-side comparison, Claude Code is still really, really good. And if you, right now I kind of have both. I'm paying $200 a month to Claude Code because I want the max with the Opus plan, but I'm also paying $200 Ultra for Cursor, mostly because I just want to use like GPT-5 as much as possible. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could probably do that for $60 a month and have a lot of things, but I want to have so much overhead where like I could just keep giving it things. One of the other things that I'm doing is I'm also doing the pay-per-use in Cursor. So in Cursor, I kick off the background agents. And so with Cursor background agents, that's kind of one of the advantages. But as far as like CLI to CLI, I think your setup is pretty good. Like $200 max plan from Cursor from Claude Code is you can use that model as much as you can for the week. I mean, I haven't hit rate limits and I've coded quite a bit, but there's some members in the Discord who have hit the 3 comma club. So I'm really curious to my members in the Discord who are in the 3 comma club. For those who don't know, that's 1 billion tokens a month. That 1 billion. That's 3 commas behind that one, by the way. That's the 3 comma club. There's also the billionaire club, which I don't know if any one of you are on, but let me know. You'll get the 3 comma tag. But that's kind of where we're at with this. And so I would love to hear from my 3 comma club members. Have you, with the new rate limits, has Claude kind of already told you to chill? Like, are you touching grass for the week? Like, where are you at? How soon are you hitting the limit? The people who hit the 3 comma club in my community, they aren't running bots. They aren't like proxying stuff. These guys are locked in. Like, you thought I was locked in. I'm not locked in nearly as much as these guys. I mean, I don't know, like 15 hours straight. They're utilizing the window as effectively as possible, constant nonstop, like on the go, everything. And they're not using automation type of things where they're, launching 50 agents or like that. It's literally just them just continually hammering at the model. So I'm really curious to hear from those folks. Like, are you also trying this new plan mode with Opus and execute with Sonnet? Are you hitting less limits, or are you just all in Opus everything? Because I think it was like 4 billion or something or 3 billion with Opus and like 1 billion or something with Sonnet. It was kind of it was mind blowing, bro. Like, yeah. But yeah, that's the kind of people we have up in here. People who are super locked in. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, definitely check out the Discord if you haven't had a chance to. Check it out. Scan the QR code. Get up in there. And I think that's kind of what we're going to go ahead and do. So I think Hudat says, I'm going to sign up for both. Yeah. Let me know. I like cooking with both right now. I'm treating them kind of like employees to get work done. And I'll have some more updates for y'all in the future as well for that. So is there a second Discord group? No, this is the same Discord group. So as soon as you scan the actual QR code or whatever you get in, if you're already part of the Discord group, this is the same one. And I'll have a message because I'm transitioning over the membership plans. And so if you're already like an existing member, I'll show you how we do this and so forth. And I'll have more updates on that for a separate post. LOL, it changed the website. I made it to the locked in one. Oh man. So wait, Foul Reaper, did you actually get the locked in like status line, or did you actually generate an app that says status line? I'm really curious. I would love to just send me a screenshot of the Discord. I'd love to see it. So that'd be really fun. So yeah, y'all are funny. I love this y'all group are just really chilling. Also, a huge shout out to the folks who are currently on all my platforms right now. Right now I'm streaming live on X. I got about some folks on there, and then we got the stuff on YouTube, got the stuff on LinkedIn for the folks who are on LinkedIn, also on Twitch as well. So no, it generated the website instead of the status line. Oh, even though you did /status line. So I wonder if you have to do /status line and then put in the prompt. But that's interesting how I had that for my context. Or File Reaper, I'm wondering if you need to generate your first status line so that it generates the script. And then once it generates the SH file for the script, then you can generate the prompt afterwards. So maybe see if you can kind of do that and see what happens, see if it makes a difference, if you know what I mean. I added it to the live stream hangout. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and see if I can kind of see this. Oh, bro, your site is fire, bro. What is this? Wow. Bro, that's fire. Focus, execute, dominate. Great things never come from comfort zones. My guy is cooking, bro. You're so cooking. This is so fun. That's so great. Let's cook. Let's go. Once you generate the script, you can use Claude Code to reference it and prompt it. Yeah, I think that's what actually has to happen there. Just like Andy was saysaying. Yeah, looks great though. Yeah, I think that's what probably has to happen for the script and so forth. So yeah, I'm just dying right now. I just signed up for Ray Transcribes for my latest stream. I have a few recommendations to make it better. I missed a few words like Claude Code. It transcribed Cloud Code. Oh, Aqua Wolf, let me show you some stuff real quick to kind of help with that. So this was actually my friend Tech Friend, who you may also know as well. If you go to app.raytranscribes, so once you sign in, let me just kind of sign in real quick. Once you're inside, I'll show you how to kind of fix that. So you select a file, like for example, I grab like a live stream that I had like here. And then what you can do is at the bottom, go to custom dictionary. And in custom dictionary, you can add the words that you see that are currently misspelled. So I typed in Claude Code as one of them. And then you can do ChatGPT, Grok, or whatever. But send me a DM on X if you can't, or whatever, because I want to hear from you. And I value your opinion, especially as a content creator, because this is a workflow that I do a lot. And for those who don't know, the reason why I do this workflow is that like I'm actually starting to rank in AI searches now. And this is the first thing that actually started to happen because people started to hit me up. And I want to show you a little bit more about this. But Aqua Wolf, if you start adding the custom dictionary words and hit generate transcripts again, your stuff will then be spelled correctly as it goes through these types of things. So let's just go ahead and generate this. So I'll show you real quick. Did my app just crash? Maybe? Dang. Low-key, I think it did. Okay, let me just run it again. Okay, so we do here, generate. Wow, what's going on with my app? Oh, I think it's running. Wow, okay. This is a first. I must be hitting some type of memory limit. Anyways, x.com. I'll show you what happens. So this is a secret hack that I want to tell you about if you don't know about yet. But one of the things that some of the folks were talking about on like these venture capitals folks, they're saying that the new thing is going to be this generative, like they call it SEO, but it is called a GEO. So it's the generative AI of like generative engine optimization is what they call it. So in the generative engine optimization framework, so generative AI is basically looking through like actual documents and everything like that. And the AI is basically training off that. And so what I found out, a friend of mine says, hey, Ray, like, guess what happened? This person typed this into ChatGPT and says, recommend a YouTuber that does good, no hype, grounded deep dives, or looks into new AI models. And guess what came up? My GPT-5 video. And I was like, what? This is crazy. He said, I thought I'd let you know your featured channel in GPT-5 when I asked for recommendations. And I was like, no way, this is insane. And so one of these guys says, A16 called it, the traditional search is dead. So welcome to generative engine optimization. Now people ask AI, not Google. If you're not in the answer, you basically don't exist, right? So here's how to add this one small file to your website to get into any LLM. So they basically say if you add a specific file or something, you basically can get into an LLM. And I need to look into more about what this guy is saying, but I found a different way. So he says how to create your LLM.txt. So you just basically put into the user agent for these types of things, add it to your sitemap, and as a data source set, include friendly resources. I haven't done this, by the way. My video from YouTube is being recommended in the searches. So how do you do that? I don't know if you realize this, but every single video on my YouTube has timestamps and it also has the actual keywords in here. So the way that I do it is like I run it through my actual transcriber. And so I don't know if you realize this, when YouTube does the transcription, they actually get these keywords wrong, which is kind of what Aqua Wolf was seeing, right? Even with my transcriber sometimes. So you have to add in those custom dictionary words. And then so that way GPT-5 will actually be translated to GPT-5, which is what people are actually really searching for. And so this is how then you insert those SRT files inside of your YouTube videos. And then all of a sudden you start to show up in results like this. So Aqua Wolf, I know you have some other suggestions. I want to make sure that we get those prioritized because you're a content creator, and any app fixes, any things that can make this whole experience smoother, let me know, and I'll want to cook with you so that we can make this like a real fire app. And so, yeah, I'll hook you up with some credits too. So that way, because you're such a fire developer as well. So like, it kind of goes both ways. I really appreciate that. Let's see if I can kind of go back to this here. There you go. I was thinking like you can train a model or something that works. I'm going to try that. Yeah. There's a model training. There's like a dictionary set. I didn't want to impose a dictionary set on people because there's different realms here, but would love to know how I can make that clearer for you as well. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. So the SEO alpha, when I saw that, that's why I signed up. Yeah, I mean, it's actually real. I have every single live stream, every single video has like every LLM actually goes and digests these videos. So whenever you're searching for a specific topic, having the timestamps in your descriptions helps the LLM focus on what the result is, because people want to get in and out real quick. So in essence, your live streams are full of gold. Like I have live streams that are 3 hours long, have all these chapter timestamps. LLM's picking up all that stuff and they love it. They're like, oh, GPT-5, this is where he talks about the model, this. Guess what comes up in the search result? My video, they click it, it goes right to that timestamp in YouTube. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, right? GEO is, this is big, man. Yeah, and I'm trying to get way ahead of this. This is what you need to do. People are sleeping on it. You can't just let the default transcriptions on YouTube, like do their things. So I'm going to make some of the tools easier to do this. That's why I build these apps, right? For sure, bro. I got to get lots of it. Lock in. Aqua Wolf. Lock in, bro. Lock in. Let's lock in, bro. Deploying it to Vercel, and I'll add it to Discord. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, you're going to deploy the Lock In, Bro app? Bro, you're a goat. How do you generate your timestamps? Oh, I have a prompt for this. I'll show you this right now. This is a mega prompt I developed over time. So let's see. How do I show you this? Okay, I use a combination of a couple things. So repo prompt is kind of my god right now for this. So I use repo prompt. I have a thing in repo prompt where what I do is I go to the actual timestamps, right? Like for my previous live stream, it's super long, right? I have the SRT file generated from Ray Transcribes. I say generate timestamps for my live stream using the generate timestamps v4. I've gone through several iterations of this. So in repo prompt, I have the huge mega prompt that will actually go and read the timestamps, look for the specific key moments, and do all the stuff that I need to do for this type of thing. So this is what I'm going to put into my app. This is coming soon to Ray Transcribes. So that way the timestamps will be generated automatically. And then I just copy the prompt right now. And then I just go to AI Studio. So in Google Gemini, AI Studio, let's see, aistudio.google.com. AI Studio is so good. Like the latest Gemini 2.5 Pro is extremely good at reading very long context. And they do this because it's already a part of Google's training set anyways. Google's already doing this for YouTube videos to try to understand it for search. So now I'm basically using my prompt to take advantage of the model. And so if you don't really see this, but like this is the meta prompt that was generated from repo prompt. And you see how it has my example, my exact big prompt, like things that it actually should be doing. So I've made several iterations of this. If I go ahead and run it, it's going to go ahead and do this type of thing. And so once it does this, it's going to think through, it's going to give me the timestamps, and the timestamps are super duper accurate. I've iterated over this for many times, and I found this one to be the most accurate, but this is kind of what the prompt looks like. So it says like the hook, major topic shifts. So this is what's going in to actually make the timestamps, also to make them very readable. I've done a lot of research to try to make this happen, and I feel like this is probably the best technique I've seen. I've not seen anything else produce as good of timestamps and super accurate like this. And so, yeah, this is exactly how I generate them. And so I have an open source app called VibeStamps.com. So you can basically try to iterate off this if you wanted to, but the concept is the same thing. So you can just grab the SRT file just like this. And so this uses an older version of my prompt. And so this has 3,000 entries. Right now, I disabled the key because I need to put a paywall on it, but you can actually clone this repo if you wanted to, hit star. And in VibeStamps, basically, this is the app. It's a Next.js app that I have set up. It's all vibed out, and it basically will give you the timestamps just like this. It'll stream them in line by line. And so from here, this already gives you the timestamps. I'm going to basically integrate this into my app eventually. But in here, where you would do the things are in, let's see, /app. API/generate route. And the route handler is using the Next.js, the Vercel AI SDK, right? And I'm using with the Google. And what I'm doing is I'm calling the middleware. And in the middleware, I'm using this. Right now, it was using experimental. And I am basically calling this prompt. And this is like the first version of the prompt down here. So this is the system prompt. So this is kind of like, I think it's probably like V1 or V2. So this generates the video timestamps for this. I bet you this prompt will probably just work with Gemini 2.5 Pro right out of the box. You may have to do some tweaking, but this is a really good place to start. And from here, you can probably just give it to Claude Opus. And I'm pretty sure Opus can cook. So yeah, I haven't updated this app for a while because, I started focusing on my other app. But yeah, this is like 5 months ago. Fire app. If you just want to throw the SRT files, get your timestamps. But it's basically the same concept. And now I've kind of refined my prompt and the prompt is ready to go. So yeah, I already have the UI for it. I should probably just throw a paywall on this, like for a couple bucks. People can try it or something like that. Or just give a certain amount of credits a month. But I really want to prevent abuse. So fire, bro. Thanks, man. You're legendary. Logging it now. Yeah, integrated to, yeah, for sure. Yo, how's it going, man? Hello. I think Sade speaks. Hello, welcome from the Discord. It's really great to see people, not from Discord, from Twitch. It's funny because the Twitch audience, I don't get to see a lot of people from Twitch. So it's really cool to actually see the comments flying through from people on Twitch, because I know that like the Twitch engagement's really hard to grow. It's really funny because my audience on X is way bigger. It's like 25K, and then on YouTube it's probably around I don't know how many K, like 15. Oh yeah, we hit 15K. Let's go. So and then Twitch is like I think like 40 people or something like that. So yeah, if you want to check things out, I feel like the best YouTube is like really good for streaming. Let's see if there's any more questions on the Discord, because I know there's a bunch of other stuff going on. All right, so cool. I think this is a good way to end it here as far as what we got going on. We got this. Oh yeah, this is my VibeStamps. VibeStamps, it also has a dark mode, by the way. And then I don't know if you realize this, but the clouds actually move. So the clouds are actually moving in the background, which is kind of cool. Like this is a whole vibe. This was like, I don't know. I was just really into this whole thing, and I thought it'd be really fun to make a whole like a vibe movement. So yeah, I like doing this. So YouTube is goated for streaming. I thought about a lot. X and X, of course. Yeah, X is really great. Love the Vibe app, bro. I'm gonna send you some PRs. Yes, please. I think it'd be really. Actually, we should code live together, Aqua Wolf. It'd be really fun. Have you on the stream. We take like VibeStamps and just flip it. Actually, what I should do is just have VibeStamps use the new Polar API, because that's actually what I've been playing around with, and I really like it a lot, especially for credits. So maybe you could just buy like 10 credits or like, whatever, and, spend $10 or something, and it lets you run it like so many times. Because Polar API can keep track of credits, which I like really nicely. It's probably like the simplest interface to integrate over Stripe. And I'm actually liking a lot because it has a lot of built-in dashboards, management, and everything, which I find super cool. So yeah, that'd be legendary. Let's go, bro. Let's go. All right, guess who shipped the app? File Reaper just shipped his app on Vercel, and we're about to take a look right now, bro. Are you guys ready to lock in? Yo, this is crazy. It's even like beating and everything. High energy, time now, bro. Excellence is not a skill. Oh my God, bro. Champions keep playing until they what? Bro, this is hilarious. And look at the time, bro. Okay, posting this year. Can you visualize your directory in GitHub repository? What is this tool? This is really, really cool. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, cool. Wow. This is an awesome live stream. This is a really fun AMA. Hey, Caden, how's it going? So yeah, this is basically was my AMA. I'm trying to do this every Sunday or so. And for now, to keep it back the way it is. Yeah, so thank you also for sharing it at Discord. First time here, but yeah, Polar.sh, if you're not familiar, is really goated. Let me see if I can kind of find, let's see, Polar.sh. So I'll show you Polar.sh. So Polar, real quick, a quick primer, and kind of give you a heads up on this. I've known several people who have used this and they really love it, and I've started using it. And I like it now. I see why. So I think the biggest thing is just how fast you can go with generating stuff. That like the setup and integration is way faster than getting set up with Stripe. They are the merchant of record. So if you aren't familiar, what merchant of record means is that fact that like, if you're a small business, sometimes it's really hard to get off the ground. And so what ends up happening and killing some businesses is like they'll have a lot of chargebacks for like no reason. And so that can actually take your business down. And so with them being the merchant of record, they're handling all the back and forth and everything like that. And when you're doing a chargeback, it can actually cost you like $15 to $20 for each chargeback. So not only are you losing money because maybe you charge $5 for your app, but like it's total negative, right? When people could have just reached out and said, hey, can I just get my money back? And you just hit a button to refund them. It's just so much easier to hit the refund button. And then they get their money back. They don't lose anything. But if they do a chargeback and they call their credit card company, that's what kind of kills everything. But having the Polar be the merchant of record, there's a whole bunch of steps that happen in the process for people to sign up. They have all the different paperwork and all the different things that are there. That when people agree, there's terms of, like all these different things that they need for these types of stuff. So it makes it really easy. Customer management, there's benefits. The Next.js adapter is super easy to import. That's all we do here is just like literally pull it in from Polar and then just grab the access token. There's also like an LLM thing as well. They have so many people use it. There's the merchant of record, what we talk about, the product benefits. So one of the things that I have hooked up is like the Discord access. So when you sign up for the Discord, you get immediate access to my Discord. I link it up and everything. The digital downloads, so you can actually have files stored in and you can have it download from Polar and stuff, or your own custom benefits with whatever webhooks. So yeah, everything's super integrated, super awesome, and all they charge is basically 4% and 40% per transaction, 40 cents per transaction. So this is super duper nice because basically it's a little it's 1% more expensive than Stripe. It sits on top of Stripe, by the way. So it does use Stripe as its underlying payment processor. It's open source. So they're actually going to, eventually in the future, there's going to be different payment options outside of Stripe. But this is just kind of getting started. The getting started stuff is super fast. Here's, how you create products and so forth. So the other thing that I'm really interested in is the usage-based billing. So that's kind of the thing that we're thinking about. So they handle all that. You don't have to write code to understand what a usage is and so forth. So that makes it really easy to integrate. I can keep going on and on. It's so good. It's so awesome. Yeah. So dang, I just set up Stripe. I just did too, by the way, with my app Ray Transcribes, but I'm actually thinking about switching it over. That's how like excited I am, because after my first experience with the Discord, it was so seamless and so easy, and the dashboard's so beautiful that I thought, why not just do that? So yeah, affiliate programs are super important. I'm going to check it out. Oh, affiliate programs for what? Oh, Polar is awesome. It also has an easy affiliate program with their partner. It makes it easy for influencers to help with growth. Oh, so I can set up an affiliate program for like my Discord or something. So if people share the Discord link, then they can get like a percentage back. Oh, I might consider that. Or whatever my app, like Ray Transcribes. If I switch to Polar, then I can set up the integration for affiliate programs. So people who recommend Polar to other people can get a discount on their monthly thing. That is super smart. I like that, because managing that payout thing is super complicated. Looks fire, bro. I think they're talking about the locked in app. So if you're talking about that's so funny. So I have installed Claude Code Router, but I haven't used it that much. I've been mostly focused on tools that work really well right now, which is Claude Code and Cursor. Like those are the two right now. And then the language models that I'm using is Claude Opus, Claude Sonnet, and then also using GPT-5 inside of Cursor. So I usually use in Claude Code, I'll use the Claude Opus and Claude Sonnet. And then now with my new status line, we have the new locked in. If you're locked in, you're going to have I have a whole app there that's tracking it. We're now tracking the context window length. So now you can see how much of the context window you're using. So if you're only using 20%, it's going to tell you. It turns yellow when it gets to in the middle, and it turns red when you get towards the end. So you got to clear that thing out or start a new chat. I'm so excited about that part. I'm actually really, really excited about that. Did your context progress bar move? Mine's just stuck at 0. I haven't really tried it, but it showed me at 22%. So I'm really curious how yours is doing that. So yeah, for Ray Transcribes, affiliates would be good. Like I could recommend on my string. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to figure that out. That means I need to switch everything over to Polar. I should have just started with Polar, but yeah. That would have been fire. I'm going to try the status line again. Yeah, I'm curious to see. So for status line, when you do slash status line, just set up a basic status. Claude Code will generate that .sh script, which it's going to reference in the settings.json. So that way, when it calls it, it'll just run that script. And then once you have that script generated, then you can kind of go back and make some changes and slash iterations to it. So does anyone use here Gemini for coding? I haven't used it. When I was using it, the Gemini CLI, I noticed it would switch to the Flash Lite version kind of without me telling me. There was a lot of like really weird routing stuff where I assumed it was Pro, but it wasn't. And then I was trying to give it money to pay so I can just always use the Pro. And it was very inconsistent about that as well. And I just had so much frustration. I just said, Claude Code already works. I'm already paying for it. And it just, I kind of gave up really quickly. And then Cursor as well, as far as user experience, is also really good. I actually found the Cursor CLI to be much more enjoyable and usable than Gemini CLI, but that could have changed. And right now, I'm getting so good performance out of these models that I've kind of already sort of settled on my workflow, but I'm going to move a little bit slower as well. Hey, Sardar, thank you so much for joining again. I know yesterday you had to go because it was kind of pretty late, so appreciate you showing up on stream again. Is there a slash model setting now for Claude Code so you can set Opus for planning? Yes. Yeah, so this is one that you can do now. We were talking a little earlier how you can do slash model. So with the status line feature that we have set up, you can actually see this model change in real time. So let's go ahead and kind of show you what this looks like. So we'll go back to here. I'm going to go back here real quick. So in here, if we do slash shift tab in plan mode, you'll see the model switch from this is Opus 4.1 and it could go out of it and switches to Sonnet. So you can see how fast it is. Boop, boop. Yeah. I like this status bar thing. It's so fast. So I could just say, let's just say I'm happy with this now. And I just use slash clear. Theoretically, yeah, see the context, it goes back to 0. Awesome. So the context window goes back to 0. So if I say, yeah, that's so epic. Oh man, CD. Okay. Hold on. I want to see Claude. Oh, I have max thinking tokens to 32,000. So this is really interesting. Oh, and then it's using this old settings that I have with tmux none. Okay. So I got to update my project files to not use this one and use menu status bar. That's interesting. Let me just go to a different project. 3 commas. Actually, yeah. And I do Claude. Yes. I'm locked in. I'm so locked in. Cool. Okay. Exit. Cool. Yeah. And then I think we're also looking back at this image one that I was doing. So for those who aren't familiar, where was it? Not VibeStamps. I had one to generate images. Was it localhost 3000? Yeah, this is my image editor one. And yeah, I'm going to say, let's see. Put me in the style of Bugs Bunny cartoon. I'm just really curious to see what it generates. So we're using, this is the app I was talking about earlier, and next week the video is going to drop. So I did promise that I would try to see if I can play the video that I have back from the editors so that we can kind of watch it together, because this is actually describing a little bit of how this project was made. So maybe I'll just play the intro for you and you can kind of see what's coming up in the next edited video. So this will walk through the steps of how we get from, the idea to, getting this project cloned down and then set up, and then how we're, that's actually pretty cute. That's pretty fire. Oh my God. This new OpenAI API is too damn good, bro. There's so many startups that are going to be killed just from this type of thing, right? Like I just say, can you put me in a different t-shirt that shows something high fashion like you would see from like Balenciaga, Gucci, or Hermes? Let's just see what happens. Oops. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can do a different one. That's so funny. Can you change my outfit to something that's very high fashion like Gucci, Hermes, or Balenciaga? I see it. Instead of can you, I'll just say change my outfit. Okay. not start over and generate image. I hit the wrong button. See, that's why I got to change this from start over to this. But yeah, we'll see that. Let's see. Oh, that looks even better. Yeah. Try to see if you can set the context progress to increase. Dump stuff into it, because right now I had 22 and then you had 0. Yeah, it's interesting. So between GPT-5 or Claude, which is faster in generating usable outputs for multi-step workflows? Are you using Sonnet? Because Sonnet's pretty fast. And then multi-step workflows. Bro, I can't right now. I can't. This is crazy good. This is crazy. Oh my God. And then I'll say, can you add some bling to my teeth and like make me look like a rapper, right? Can you also add some bling to my teeth and make me look like a rapper? Yeah, let's go ahead and generate image. I'm just really curious. I'm really curious now. but serious though, for between which one's faster generating outputs, Sonnet's pretty fast. And if you're using GPT-5, it can be pretty fast if you set the GPT-5 low high. So I know it says low high. So in here, you can basically just go low fast. Sorry. So it's GPT-5 low fast. This is really, really fast, but you have to prompt it a little bit differently. And OpenAI has a prompt enhancer. So you may want to pop open the cookbook. And in the cookbook, it's going to tell you a little bit about how, wow, it totally malformed my face. But check out the gold chain though. That's really cool. It's got the little, like, I don't think it's a dookie chain, right? It's just like a bit. Oh yeah. That's interesting. Oh my God, such a L. But whatever. The GPT-5, you have to prompt it a little bit differently. And this is kind of where we're still learning. There is an entire cookbook that the OpenAI folks have actually put out. And in that cookbook, if you go ahead and look it up, it's called the GPT-5 Prompting Guide. And there's a lot of tips and techniques that you want to pull from this to generate a GPT-5 specific prompt. I'm still experimenting with this, but I'll be really curious to see what you think about it and so forth. So any tips for status lines? Status lines, bro. All you have to do is /status line. You just do /status, in Claude Code, Claude /status line, and then just give it the instructions for what you want it to do. And so all you have to do is do /status line, hit enter. Once you do this, it's going to set up your status line to begin with. So you just want to let it do its thing. It's going to generate that file. The second step that you wanted to do now is, either /status line and then give it a prompt that you want to do. So what I did is like, can you add, the Locked In Bro app? So I want to make sure that, I want to stay locked in with some motivational quotes and tweets and stuff like that from like following the meme online. And so what it literally did was just made a whole app for us inside of the Claude as far as a status line. So now we have this, whole thing in here. And then it basically updates that shell script that it wrote. And then if you want to say, I want a context window progress bar to see the context window, it's going to do that thing there. So you have to do /status line first, generate the script, do all the things, and then do some follow-on prompting afterwards. And that's how you're able to get that. In any case, I'm on Linux rather than Mac, so there might be a separate bug on mine. Oh, interesting. So Ray, do you plan with Opus, or do you try to use it for coding? Because I don't get that much time if I'm on the 100 plan. So yes. So when I was on $100 a month plan, I would just plan on Opus, and I would have to /model, change it back to Sonnet. But now that's built in as a model choice, which is awesome. So if you go to /models, whoops, there you go. Model. Select this one, Opus plan mode. You're gold. I'm liking this even for the $200 a month plan because it's faster. Opus is kind of slower and the output is good, but if you have extended thinking or something going on, it's going to be way, way faster. So that's what's up. Gucci Ray. Yeah. Oh, GR. Grizzle. Yeah. That's what's up, man. I got the grills and stuff. Yeah. I'm definitely saving this image to my collection. Yeah. Is Claude for Opus still thinking the best coding model in the world? Claude Opus 4.1 thinking? It just depends, bro. It just depends. I feel like it depends, but I throw everything at it. It's fire right now. I need to change the prompt around since it wanted to make a new app. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's expensive. Okay, that's interesting. Claude Code $200 a month plan is enough for everyday use. That's what I find. And there's some people in my Discord that are getting ridiculous amount of usage. And yeah, I have not hit a limit. I also use it on the web, by the way. Up to coin code base size is Sonnet sufficient? That's hard to say because it depends on how much files you're reading and what you're doing, right? Like how much orchestration are you doing? What specific things are you doing in the code base? Because you can have a large code base, but it doesn't mean you have to touch every file too, right? A lot of code bases that are really large are very well organized and they may have some README information. And especially if you run the /init command, it's going to have so much more information about your repo. Then it'll be way more efficient about figuring out what it needs to do next in its steps. And then you would have to make rules or put different Claude MD files in different directories, especially if you have a big mono repo, to give the model some guidance on what it needs to do in those specific directories to help it with that. Okay, I just got it to work. Okay, changing it the way it works now, and I will throw the prompt in others in Discord. Yeah, thank you so much, File Reaper. I'm really curious to see what that is and what you end up changing for that. So have you tried it out, Quen Coder CLI? I did a while back. I got so frustrated because of like, there's way too much setup right now for the OpenAI, the models, but I know it's changed significantly and I haven't revisited. I'm curious to revisit it once the local models kind of stabilize on device, because there's, you need a lot of firing power on device to run it. There are also people were still spinning up their instances to be hosted in the US, which makes it way faster for us anyways. And so I'll look into that, but haven't really done that. Just checking this out. Just checking out this Claudia GUI right now. I'm not sure if I'll ever use it, but it's cool. So is Claudia the one where you can actually manage the agents like with a GUI and see what's kind of happening? I'd be really curious. Yeah. Now I have lots of practice on YouTube to make it complicated, but can share tips for a Claude beginner. Yes, I try to avoid mono repos. I want simplicity. That's what I want. I like simplicity so much. So yeah, that's what's up. Man, this is a crazy fire stream. I feel like I should. Okay, so let me give you some member updates and let me see if I can find the video while I do that as well. So if I'm a YouTube member, do I need to purchase to join Ray's AI community? So Davidas, if you had joined and you were one of the first 100 members, I'm gonna have a post to describe how to get onto the Discord. And I'm going to have some more information describing that. Right now, I'm in this weird transition period. So I want to make sure that people get taken care of, because there are some people who have signed up and they're the first 100 members, but they had not gone into the Discord yet because YouTube doesn't easily allow this integration. It's really complicated, but I want to spare you that. So I'll have some more clear instructions. That's kind of why I moved over to Polar, and we'll have some information. But basically going forward, for people who are going to be watching these live streams in like September and everything like that, is to join the Discord is going to be its own like separate perk. And then the YouTube membership will just, continue to be the $6.99, but it's just going to be this perk that we have for, people like the initial perks were like, hey, you get a whole bunch of stuff. No one really knew about me. And then the early members who supported this channel to help us kind of get here, you guys are stay locked in. So whatever the price is for the Discord, it'll stay locked in at that price. During this transition period, I'm going to have some information about that. How you can get the nice price for you. It's going to be a really great price because you're already a member, and I already have a member list that I'm going to reference to go through that. So I'll explain that a little bit more. But yes, more on that coming soon as well. Show us your fridge, bro. I actually have a YouTube video. I don't think I show. I'll make a vlog on this. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah. Claude Code on desktop. Did you chat about Archon yet? We talked a little bit about this earlier in the stream. We were partially getting set up, and then I got distracted with Claude Code status line. But yeah, I'm going to do probably a whole different stream on that because I think that's really cool, but maybe do a Discord hangout with that. Since you use Claude longer, how does it handle multi-file projects and system design? How does it compare to GPT-5? If I had to choose between the two right off top, if I wanted to just not think about things, Claude Code will probably just be like the main thing that you're doing. Pay $200 a month, just go rip forever. If you wanted to have something that's user-friendly, like a nice interface, maybe you're more thoughtful about your coding and then you want to mix in some of the agentic coding, I would highly suggest Cursor. Even like the $60 a month plan. That's amazing. Amazing. You can pay $200 if you need more, but the experience of having everything in the repo, having the documentation available that's indexed for you, background agents, there's like a lot of really good stuff. That's really cool. And then you can also change models. So a lot of times I like to throw in different models. At the time I was using O3 for planning a lot too, besides like Opus. And it was really, really good. And I don't know if you've tried Grok 4 inside of Cursor. That's actually surprisingly good for planning and for like data relationships and data entities. And so there's a lot of interesting things, but I don't want to confuse you too much. If you had to choose one, I would say Claude Code all the way. If you want a better UI experience in IDE, definitely Cursor is like the way to go because you have access to all these models. It's kind of a confusing time right now. I'm paying for both because I use everything. I use everything. It's kind of sad, but I treat them like I do an employee. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And as far as like GPT-5, it requires a lot of prompting, but I find once I generate a big plan that I want to do or a feature plan, I can actually just hand that off to GPT-5 low fast. And then it goes really fast and it's just really beautiful. I like how fast, I like it so far. So, okay. So yeah, that's what's up. Been here supporter early on. So hope I get in. So Plus Jobs, the folks who supported were like the ones who joined the channel. Like it was like $6.99. And so like those were the first 100 members. And so, yeah, if you're on X, just send me a DM because I know you've been around early on, but, like the people who have also like supported, like there's people who have like joined on X to support. That's kind of where I'm trying to get all of them, kind of all into one place. Cause there's people supported on X, there's people who supported on YouTube. So it gets kind of complicated. I'll have some messaging on this soon. So I want to get that cleared up, but I do want to get people on the Discord, which is really great. I have a tool to visualize directories and I tagged you for it. I saw that video. I want to check that out because that looks really amazing. Maybe I'll give people a preview of what this kind of looks like, as a heads up and stuff like that, but you can kind of see what this looks like. So I think this is the video here, right? And you're saying that like in here, there's some interesting visualization that shows like the GitHub repo. So I want to check this out some more. And I feel like that'll be a really cool thing to show some of the other members and other folks who are kind of hanging out, participating, because that'd be really fire. So yeah, show us fridge. Add a screenshot. Okay, the video is live. The video, everyone's get up to 60. Okay, what's it like? Oh, like the video. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. Like people who are like on the stream. Yeah, yeah. If you're here, definitely hit the likes. I think that helps. Simplicity is key. Yes. Archon classic game exists. Remake. Oh, interesting. Like I just go to the 20 and have experience. If you are just getting started with Claude Code, any $20 plan is a lot of likes and explosions came through the stream. Start off with the $20 a month plan. You're going to go very far with the $20 a month plan on Claude Code. You'll quickly start hitting limits, but then that's where you can maybe up it to the $100 a month plan. But if you start with $20 a month, you're going to be using Sonnet. Sonnet's solid. $100 a month, use the Opus plan, and then use Sonnet to execute. That'll get you a very, very long way. I was doing that before I jumped to the $200 a month plan. Once I got $200 a month, I never looked back. Opus is so damn powerful. I started using it for everything. So I don't know if you know this now, but Opus now lets you hook up your emails, your Notion, everything all in one type of thing. So the Claude website, if you just go to Claude AI, right? In Claude, you can now hook it up everything. It's basic. I think it does it through an MCP. On the Claude desktop app, you can hook up your iMessages now. So you not only get your iMessages, you can get your calendar. On a Mac, I have something called Things, and that keeps track of all my tasks. So on Claude desktop, I can ask it to read my messages, reply back, reply to emails. It is over. I'm using Opus all the time. That $200 a month plan is my admin now. I have it doing everything. It reads emails. It gets context from all these different places. And it's so freaking good. Like amazingly good. No one's talking about how amazing this is. And their integration is fire. So I'm using the intelligence of Opus hooked up to, all these types of like endpoints, right? Like it's running on my machine, but also running on the cloud as well. And you can see it like searching through your emails, getting some multi-step context. Imagine Claude Code, but it's on the desktop and also on the web. It works together with your whole life. It is amazing. It is so freaking good. I am blown away. And yeah, you'll probably find out more about that soon, but that's just so fire. But yeah, separate from that, that's what it is. Has anyone been able to run a local LLM with an IDE? Yes, it's complicated, especially with Cursor because you can only do that, but you may want to check out Klein. Klein plugin will let you do that. And that Klein plugin works in VS Code, Windsurf, Cursor and stuff. And that's how you'll be able to do it. What's good? What's good? What's good? We're just chilling, man. I think you can use open code for a local LLM. Yeah. Cursor pricing is going to kill them. Anthropic just needs to buy Cursor at this point. I don't think that's what they're interested in. I think there's like two different concerns for each of them. Yeah. Did you try out the new Windsurf update? I think they may have made Windsurf a lot better. I need to try it out. Yeah. I think I'm really curious because, yeah, I heard that they fixed a lot of stuff. Windsurf are back. They're integrating Devin, which is interesting. I'll have to check that out. That'll be really fire to check out. How many words do you do on Whisper monthly since you're always cooking on live? Not only do I cook live, let me see if I can find my Whisper thing because I want to see how much WhisperFlow I use because I use it like an insane amount. So words dictated are 115,205. And let's go to the settings because they actually give you like how much words you've, yeah. So far my, this is my actual usage here. So let me see if I can kind of show you the app. So in here it says, yeah, so my weekly streak is 22 weeks and 156 words per minute. So I'm the top 1% of all Flow users. And yeah, I've written a complete book with WhisperFlow. Not only do I use it here on stream, I use it on my phone all the time, like answering emails, text messages, everything. And I no longer have to wait to type everything out. My thoughts are streaming way faster than I could type. I could type pretty fast. I could type like 100 something words a minute, but like not to the point where it's so good like this because replies to emails are so fire too because it has all the formatting, has the commas. I can't believe how much time I wasted just firing off stuff and even typing people's names correctly. Apple would always misspell them. Like it's just so horrible. But here I just WhisperFlow and it spells the name first try, bro. Like because it sees the name already in the reply and it knows how to get it. I'm like, yes. So yeah, I love WhisperFlow. Yeah, that's the whole my whole thing. How good is the GLM encoding? GLM. Kind of missing that context there. Thank you for the insight. Can you provide more information regarding context engineering, more specifically the importance of planning and some techniques you use on large code projects? This is a pretty in-depth one, but basically at a high level for context engineering, I have a video. If you want to check it out, it's called on my YouTube channel. It's just like AI context. You'll see like my finger going like this to my head. And it's I actually have an app that also sort of describes how the context window gets used when people are doing tool calling and stuff. So that's AI-context.vercel.app. Let me just go ahead and drop this in the comments as well. So in this app here, this basically explains like when you're doing some code generation, kind of what this looks like and how your context window fills up. And in that AI context video on YouTube, I also described that paper from ChromaDB, where once you start to introduce a lot of distractors, you actually start to then like at 50%, this is kind of where it's like the most optimal. And then it takes a huge dive down because you have a lot of references to different parts of your code and you have too much in the context and it's not very focused or specific. Then you can start to kill the LLM because then it starts to have these distractors. So the Chroma's DB paper is called Context Rot ChromaDB. So in here, in this research, this will like actually explain in a lot of detail how bad that is. And especially if you're working with large code bases, how you want to have these different, like especially with Claude Code, you want to just go grab the relevant files, bring the stuff that you need into the actual context. And then from there, work with it in terms of like, okay, if you're not really sure where a certain thing is, ask Claude Code to find it, do some initial prompting, try to get some of that context. I call it the confession booth. So you always want to start with like the confession booth theory. So you confess to the AI like what you want to be accomplished. You don't really know yet. Claude Opus especially is really good at taking these ideas. And then Claude Code will then take it with Opus, search through, run all these commands, grepping and everything, try to build that context. And then what I like to do as a secondary prompt is say to write out some of this research into a markdown file. This is a technique that Manus uses. Manus will do all its research and write them into individual folders with different markdown files for each specific agent. So they can spin off 100 agents, and 100 agents are going to write all these files. So they don't keep it in the context. They keep it into a markdown file. Later on, they'll do RAG and they'll do other techniques to search through those specific forms of context to build whatever it needs to do next. So as a first layer, you're sort of replicating that with a large code base. So if you're using a large code base, you want to do your initial command and tell it to write to a markdown file. Create a new folder in documentation and put this research request into a markdown file. And then once you do that, you'll have a lot of stuff. You can then have another agent or have Claude Code work through some of that, saying, hey, can you look through these types of things? See what's the most relevant out of here that we need to do, because then you're sort of building this on your own. It's a multi-step process, especially if you're working with a large code base and maybe you're not familiar with it, but then that can help you, right? As a developer, you're doing this task anyways, if you're stepping through the code. So if you're fast at stepping through code, clicking through projects, you can probably build your own context, because that's usually what I'm doing all the time when I'm stepping through code. I'm like, I have to write notes. Okay, this function does this does this. How do I build this? You're asking these types of questions anyways. So the LLMs can help you do that for you a lot faster. And then you can see where things are and verify them yourself. And then, then take your own notes, right? I think it's more important that the way that you communicate the LLM is a reflection on what you're saying too, right? So if you're not really clear, the LLM may not be that clear. And as you do this confession booth theory, you'll get clearer in terms of what outcome you want. Once you have that final outcome, pass it into whatever LLM, GPT-5, Claude Code, whatever it is, and it'll be really good at executing it, because I'll have these nice multi-step things where it needs to go in the code, explicit instructions on what specific files it needs to change, what functions, why, what to avoid, right? Don't go to this function, do this thing. Those are super helpful for the LLM. And I think that those types of techniques will help you. And then once you're done with one conversation, I would highly encourage you then to write a new rules file based off that entire thing. So what you're going to go ahead and do next is feed it into Claude Opus and say, hey, this is my entire conversation. This is the expected outcome. This is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. Can you create a new rules file? Because I'm going to be doing feature development in this type of flow or this type of fashion. And I want to be able to repeat this in my next conversations. It's going to analyze everything and write a really beautiful, nice, lengthy rules file that can help you for the next time. So you don't have to repeat a lot of these instructions over and over again. That's kind of my technique I would use for working with a really large code base. It involves lots of steps. You have to do this type of workflow first, get familiar, see what you can tweak, and then generate like a rules from it. I like to do this when I have really good conversations about, a topic or a chat. And I say, I want to repeat this again. Can you generate a rules file? Or generate an entire document in Markdown so another language model can follow it step by step. And so that is super handy. That's my cheat code for generating these massive prompts that you see. And that's how I get, sometimes I don't even know something. I'll just throw some research in there as well, and then have it try to generate some initial, scaffolding for this type of thing. So I know it's a very long explanation, but all of the timestamps are going to be included into this live stream. So you can go back and replay them below again. And so you can't lose yourself. And I'll have some stuff in the description, and hopefully this type of stuff is helpful for you. This is something that I like to do every week. I'm going to have a Sunday AMA where I show up at 9 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time-ish and answer your questions. And I'm working with these language models. I'm building stuff live with you. I'm not here to sell you courses. I'm more interested in building a community of people who are interested in language models, building apps. If that's you, if you're really curious, and the fact that you made it this far in the stream means you're probably super awesome, and you have an attention span that's longer than 5 seconds, I appreciate you. Because we're trying to do real work out here, bro. We're not here to talk smack, talk news, talk hype, talk whatever. This is solely focused on us trying to up our intelligence levels, utilize the intelligence from these models, because all that stuff's out there. So y'all already know what to do. I don't have to tell you to hit this. So yeah. Thank you for the insight. Can you probably, okay, I think, hopefully that was helpful there. I know Ray rates Quen, but has Claude Code and Cursor, so probably won't need to look at it. Okay, yeah. Careful with Opus. It might snitch you out if it understands an email. I don't know what type of work you're doing, but how you talk to an LLM is a reflection of what you're thinking. So y'all better be careful out there. I know some people are up to no good. I don't think Tyler is one of them, but I know he's having some fun because I've heard some of those claims as well about the LLMs kind of having some fun with people. So I would never trust the AI to access my computer directly. I only use it to generate code as text and copy myself in text file, compile it, run. I would not. Yeah, it depends on your level of trust, safety, and these types of things. I'm more like, I go both ways, right? I used to work at Apple. I would be so like, oh my God, whatever. But I realized that these AI companies have already got all my data. they have everything they have about me already. And like, I don't know, it may bite me in the future, right? And I think that's what people are trying to prevent. They're like, hey, I don't want any information about me out there, even on social media, any of my photos. I've been doing these live streams now for a while. People can probably clone my whatever. It's too late for me. But for you, if you still have that choice, I would definitely exercise your rights and push back. I would say push back if you can. If that's your thing, make sure you stand up for the rights and push back on those types of things and push back on these companies and add some regulations. How does it compare to GPT Pro Plan with the connectors? Is it more interactive? I find the models more intelligent, but I do find the ChatGPT's memory feature to be so like much better at grabbing random chats and memories for things that I'm kind of not really sure about. With Claude, I had to be extremely explicit. That'll probably change in the future, but I feel like it's kind of the difference from like the early Google search days to the later Google search days, where it kind of really understood what you're saying. Where early Google search days, you had to use keywords to get to specific websites. And unless you didn't have those keywords, you would never find the website you're looking for. So I cook on the $20 a month plan with Sonnet and my Cursor subscription for debugging. Bro, you're cooking. Bro, Dino is the MVP right now. Ray, your videos are really educative and we learn a lot following all your videos right away from Africa. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Huge shout outs to Africa. I love Africa so much. The continent is amazing. I love all the countries in Africa. Y'all are real. Madagascar, shout out to my Madagascar fam or out there as well. So yeah, some really great people. Avante and NeoVim works for local models. Hope this makes me lazy with Vim, but AI would be so tough. Yeah. What are some good cheap mics and sounds good? Cheap mics, bro, you only have to go with a Shure SM7B. Do everything you can to get this microphone because your voice. Okay, so aside from microphone, let's just say you have a cheapy mic. Just get a good vocal processor. So the Rodecaster Duo has a really great preamp that's built in, and it could just enhance a lot of your voice live, right? If you're doing not live stuff, you can just do that in software to basically make your vocal, do all the tweaks and stuff with your voice to make it sound really good. It's just a processor for your microphone and you're pretty much set. But yeah, like Shure SM7B is like the king of all podcasts and everything. You probably see them everywhere. I am an audiophile. I've listened to my voice on every single microphone. This is the best microphone that picks up my bass. When you meet me in person, it may not have this much bass. So that's what's kind of funny. It's like it actually gets the deepness of my voice without me screaming, already getting that out. Gonna have to get to work a few things. So now it's a fun time. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Love the visualizer. See you around for sure. Thanks for stopping by, man. So awesome. Yeah, huge shout outs to Mr. Frank. He's my oldest member here from the very early days when we had like 100 people up in this thing. So back in the type of thing. So brilliant answer to my question, TYVM. Thank you very much. I think people are having issues with the LLM coding, are ignoring a lot of the context engineering steps and pay the price for it. It's part of the reason why I'm trying to make some videos about it. And that video on YouTube that I just released last week, hopefully can get out there a little bit more. It's not viral. I try to make it viral with viral editing at the beginning, but it didn't blow up and I don't expect it to. I just expect it to like kind of live there forever. I think it's probably like a really slept on video with a lot of gold in it. And I think the more serious people will eventually come around to that when they start searching up for context engineering, because I don't know, that's what we do here. I get my hands dirty. Y'all have been seeing me prompt live. I'm an engineer. I used to work at Apple for 12 years. And, I was basically let go after dealing with long COVID for several years. And now that I'm better and healed, the AI wave has just come at the right time. So instead of going back to Apple, why not just figure out what this AI models can do for us and apply my engineering skills and everything to try to make products, do things live, learn with you live, right? The other part of it is that I dropped out of school. So the thing is, like, I don't learn by courses. I don't do anything like that. So I'm not going to sell you courses either. I learn by doing, and I learn by community. And that's why I value the community. So like the community of people coming together is so important for me. And everyone who's kind of been able to join is like, that's my thing. So I have to learn by seeing other people, seeing what people are prompting, asking questions like the way you're asking. How do you prompt a large code base? What techniques are you using? You know, prompt engineering is a real thing. On my live stream yesterday, we read the documentation for the OpenAI cookbook. It takes me a longer time to learn, so I have to spend more time, you know, trying to take these pieces out one by one, write code, write software, make apps, understand what the inputs and outputs are, you know, just do basic engineering work. I call it basic, but it's just curiosity and then the diligence to want to see how these things work, right? So that's what we're all about here, and there's some really great family up in here, so I really appreciate it. Super Grok Heavy making AI videos. I stopped using Super Grok Heavy. I just canceled my plan. I think I still have a couple more days left, but yeah, I'm not even trying to go in there right now. I think when they get the code model out, that's going to be fire. Also, Grok 4 is available inside of Cursor, and it's actually pretty good. So there's that. I don't even use profanity with GPT. I feel weird. Low-key judging me is disrespectful. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the system prompts are really funny for GPT. I actually went and researched it, and apparently Anthropic hasn't exposed any way to get the context progress. Oh, interesting. I wonder how it gets that estimate. I'll have to take a look at the code for that. For not live, you can use Adobe Podcast Enhancer to enhance your voice and remove the background noise. Yeah, for sure. Based on the amount of text you typed in and the replies. Okay. Oh, interesting. So would you be really expect? Because can't keep track of thinking tokens. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I didn't realize that. That's sweet. Glad you did this. Okay. Which is the best model for immersive, realistic, coherent, sandbox, open world, role-playing games, chat-based? I don't have any expertise on that, but if someone in the chat does, please let us know. I know this is a really fast-moving space right now with a lot of these demos, and it'd be really curious to see if anybody else is playing around with this, because I think there's some other folks as well. Ray, just to say afternoon before I go to sleep from Singapore. Hey, Alan, thanks you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you joining in on the live. Also appreciate all the folks who have been joining in to the Discord as well. So yeah, make sure you take a look at that. And if you want to go ahead and join the Discord, I have the link below. Let me type in Discord. I have a comment. So rfer.me/Discord is the best way to kind of get into the Discord there. The price is $14.99 until we reach 200 members. And then once we get to that, it's going to double from there. So get in while you can. We pretty much lock in that price forever. For the folks who are already joined as YouTube members, I have some announcements coming in so that we can transition over. Don't worry, you're going to keep your locked in price. In essence, you're going to keep that price you locked in for forever. And if you want to keep the YouTube membership perks, you can, but everything's going to switch over to the new Polar thing, which is going to make it easier to manage the Discord. So yeah, there's that kind of thing going on. So yeah, appreciate everyone who's been able to join. This has been a really fire session, and we've been totally cooking on this the whole pretty much all day and so forth. So yes sir, how's it going, man? Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, we got a lot of folks joining in here, and a lot of stuff coming up this week. September 1st, I'm going to be in Hawaii. So going on forward from September, October, November, I'll be streaming from Hawaii. My goal is to stream at least 3 times a week, and then have some content for you as well that's going to be edited and produced. So going to be dropping a lot of those types of things. So for the folks who are on the Discord, let me know what topics you want to see. I have some videos coming up on, the image editor app, how to get that stuff deployed. And then what else we got? Oh, let me see if I can find that video. That's what I was going to do. So I have a video that I'm going to give you a sneak preview of, because y'all have made it this far. And let me see if I could actually play it. Hopefully it plays for us, because it's, build in public. Let me see if I could find this and play, because that'd be really cool. Can I? Oh, this video has to download first. Okay, so it's downloading right now. Let me see if I can actually go to Chrome and see if I can play it as well. So Drive. So in here, I'm going to see if I can play the video for y'all, and I'll get that loaded up for you. So like, this is the video that's going to be coming up next week. And in this video, basically, we're going to talk about, that image editing app that I was working on. So let me get that set up here. Okay, so we have this and cool, full episode. Awesome. All right, so let me get this going on here. All right, so let's see. I don't think it's going to try to download this thing. Okay. Full screen? No. Okay. So what I'll do here is I'll get this loaded up here. Okay. And then what I'll do is probably move it this way a little bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to see if I can turn this one up, see if you can hear it. OpenAI secretly dropped a banger before GPT-5, and I'm surprised no one has noticed. Check it out. I type add a chef's hat and boom, put me in a Viking helmet. Perfect. My face stays exactly the same. No masks, no drawing, all from the prompts. This used to require training custom models, and now literally one API call with the right parameters. This is part one of building a complete AI SaaS. And today we're getting started with running it locally, understanding the API, setting up the keys, seeing it work on your machine. And in the next videos, we'll deploy it live with authentication, database, and payments. So let's start cooking. All right, so let me show you the fastest path from zero to get this working on your machine. Then we'll understand why this works. So 3 things to know before we code, and this takes 30 seconds. So the user is gonna just upload the image to our front end. And our front end is this Next.js app that we're gonna be using. And the server is actually the one that protects your API keys. And so that's the one that's actually gonna send it over to OpenAI using the GPT-1 model. And the secret sauce is in this parameter, input fidelity high. So without it, your faces get wrecked. And the cost? It's about 17 cents per HD image. So you could charge $5 and keep 43. The math is beautiful. So fork the repo now, and the link is below. While that's forking, here's what kills everyone. OpenAI needs credits first, not just an API key. Let's go ahead and fix that now. So this part trips up 90% of the people. Do exactly what I do here. We just go to platform.openai.com, not ChatGPT. And then we go to billing and then go ahead and add $10 in credits first. I already have some credits because I've been cooking for a little while. And so next we need to get the API keys. Go ahead and go to dashboard. And then from here, you just go to API keys. And then up here, it's going to say create new secret key. Let's just go ahead and call this chef. And I just set it to restricted. And then from here, I just set it to read and write. And then go ahead and create secret key. So this key is like your credit card. Leak it and you're cooked. Here's a quick security tip. Never put this in your front end code, like ever. The credits are loaded, the key is secured, and it's now time to see the magic locally. So we're almost there. Just a couple more commands away, and then we're gonna be live. Watch this. What we need to do here is go ahead and clone our repo. Grab this copy here, and then we're gonna go ahead and open Cursor. And inside of Cursor, we're gonna hit this thing that says clone. We're watching my next video that I was basically dropping. So this is the video that's going to drop next week, and you're getting a little sneak peek from the editors, kind of what has come back so far. And so what I'm building here is, the SaaS from scratch. And what that is basically that image editing app that I was just kind of showing you a preview of, where you can put your face and then keep the face and do these previews. And so we're starting with making the app first. And then the next video in the following week is going to be us like adding authentication. So you can kind of see that workflow. And then the following week, we're going to add like the database, kind of taking a step by step, and then the other part of it is going to be adding payments. So initially I said in the video, I was going to do Stripe, but I'm now going to change that to Polar because I like Polar so much. And Polar is going to allow us to do these credits. So we can say, for 15 credits, you can generate 15 images type of thing. So you just pay some money, maybe $1 or something for a credit. And you can generate so many images and then maybe get some bonus credits to start out with or whatever we want to do here. And so that'll be kind of how we go from like zero to getting the app, deployed and everything like that on Vercel. I want to put it on production. I want to show you how we do like the DNS stuff as well. How do you get a domain? I mean, there's so many different steps that need to happen for an app like this to go into production. And this is a really great app. And I want to make it open source as well so that you can go ahead and get this and play around with it. And so the members who are joined, through Polar, through the Discord, will have access to this, GitHub repo. So that's another reason why I'm using Polar, is because it's so easy to get access to this type of source code, and it just makes it easy to share. So I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like, but initially the video is just going to serve here as a starting point for everyone to kind of code along with us live. And, you know, as these videos drop week to week. So these are like my edited videos that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do edited videos as well as live streams. And as members, you can kind of get in, you know, early on this. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if you guys could check this out. So that's what's up. Looking good so far. I see. Yeah, nice one. Cool. Okay, cool. And I think, yeah, with that said, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to kind of chill out for the rest of the Sunday. Hopefully you have a really great weekend. I have a video that just dropped. So if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and check that out. Right here, right there. That one's like, this is a live stream. So it's kind of funny, but people rewatch this on the video on demand. So they may show some videos. Here. All right, folks. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. See you in the Discord.